McNally, and welcome to the picturesque Adelaide Oval. It's round 4 in the SANFL, and today it's Norwood against the Eagles. The two sides that finished second and third last year shape up again today in the ABC Match of the Day, and both sides with new coaches. The Redlegs have Neville Roberts in charge, and they're undefeated. The Eagles have Paul Hamilton, and they've only lost one game. That was the opening round against Port Adelaide, who look very strong at this stage of the season. Stay with us. We're live until 5 on the ABC Match of the Day as Mark Nayley joins us. And Mark, I'm looking forward to this one. I guess it's a real sighter as to who's going to finish or perhaps challenge Port Adelaide for the premiership this year.
Yes, with us last week, we both declared that the Magpies will definitely be in this year's grand final with their pre-season form, also their first sort of opening 2 games. But these two sides out here, I saw Norwood last week under lights against the Bays, and they were outstanding. And the Eagles were 1-1 so far in this year. They played the Magpies in the first game, and they lost that one. But last game they played against at Woodville against Sturt, was a very, very good win.
South Adelaide and North, last year's bottom sides, sitting in 3rd and 4th position.
Yeah, that is a bit of a surprise. The Panthers, well, both South and North, they drew the first game down at Noarlunga. But we saw the North Adelaide side last week with a lot of young kids. They were very, very impressive.
Well, you've got to suggest that this is going to be a shootout today. Both sides are impressive in their forward divisions. The Redlegs have rebuilt their forward line and are playing an attacking brand of football. And I guess the weather will play an important part in proceedings today as we go down to our weather girl, Michael Parsons.
Yes, thanks, David. Isn't this early start to the footy season wonderful? I was listening to the cricket driving in today, and now I'm a bit worried about getting sunburnt. It is an absolutely perfect day for football. 20 degrees, fine and sunny, and just that probably half a goal advantage going to the northern end of the ground. But really, the ground's in perfect nick, as it always is here at Adelaide Oval. This should be a great game of football.
As we go to the Eagles lineup, Mark Nayley, you've had a chance to have a look at them. They look pretty good on paper, although they are missing a couple of players, particularly McCarthy, who gives them a real bit of stability.
Yes, also, I mean, Bicicarella also missing, and Shirley had both gone to the Crows last week. Those two players, really, their first, opening game against the Magpies was outstanding. But you look through the side there, they have got still a lot of experience in there with Biglands in the ruck. His form, or early form, has been good. And Colville and Pearce were a couple of match-winning players there. Chris Kluzak, opening game, he's lost a little bit of weight. He's jumping very, very well. And Big Neiman's good to see him back in those colours.
Michael Parsons has been down to the Norwood rooms, and they have a couple of changes from their published side.
Yes, big Jonathan Yerbury is out, along with Bowen, who would have lined up at centre-half forward. He hurt his kidneys on Thursday night at practice, so it'll be interesting to see if SANFL does, in fact, move to that position. But with Harvey out with that nasty shoulder injury that he suffered a couple of weeks ago, it will be their ball-getters that are going to be important in James, Doreen, Cunningham. The guys that give them that first use, I think Norwood are going to be very strong and very tough to beat for the Eagles.
I think that's a pretty fair comment. There is the Redlegs. They're out on the ground, ready to go. So the match just about to start. As joining me in commentary, Michael Parsons with Mark Nayley.
The start of the first quarter here at Adelaide Oval. Ron Bedridge will start with the first bounce of the afternoon. Biglands, the big fella, up against Pascoe, even bigger. Big Pascoe gets the first knock for the afternoon. It comes down quickly onto his left boot was Cotton. It goes up forward, coming out like his team train, but overrunning the football there was Doreen as the Eagles' defence led superbly early in the season by Fruin, gives it across the Colville. The Eagles are running good, knock off the ball there by Ops. Here's a chance now to set something up. He's drawn the loose player, one-on-one here up forward. Good use of the body in front. North's players eager to get hold of the football. In there is Colville again. He throws it out. Diving over the top, comes through as Pearce. Back to Fruin. Quick exchange of handballs inside. Player out wide is Floriani. That's the direction it's gone. He takes a safe chest mark. Goes back. Head around. Chips the ball up forward. The mark out front by Pesh is good. And he'll be hotly pursued by Luke Gotten this afternoon. Pesh heads towards centre-half forward. Good lead. Oh, crash of bodies up forward. Umpire has paid the free kick. It'll come back to Scotty Doreen.
Good to see Nick Pesh get his hands on the ball early after a little while out with that calf strain that's limited his football this year.
Paul Hamilton certainly has shown a bit of faith in him. A lot of people thought he might have started on the bench and come on when the pace is out of the game. As Cunningham goes forward, missing was Bassett at the back door. Beveridge run down by Godden. The handball stolen away, intercepted beautifully by Carslake through half forward and goes towards goal. It's coming through, it's coming back. Carslake's bagged it. Good opening to the Redlegs. They get the first at the 1.5 minute mark of the first term.
Yeah, young Scott Carslake, he'd like that one, his 3rd goal in league football. Nice kick off the boot. Had that half a helicopter look about it, but just into the wind, and it got the score on the board. Excellent start from the Norwood Football Club. They've had all the running so far.
But Godden created it, didn't he? Give credit where credit is due.
And there's that finish. Just a slight drop of the ball problem there, but the result was where it should have been.
Well, first goal to the Redlegs. Good start. Kicking to a reasonable breeze out there this afternoon. I'm sure Coach Neville Roberts would be very pleased with that. The Redlegs go forward again. The kick's up forward. Good lead by Hall out front. He couldn't take it. Again, Norwood have an opportunity. Comes out wide. 17 coming through is Justin Scripps, ex-Tiger. Now Redleg, and he kicks on Major.
Yeah, again, a great finish. When you get your opportunities early in the game and you can get them through the two big sticks, it really does get the momentum into the team, and things go wrong. Hall probably should have taken that one. Just bounced off his chest under a lot of pressure, though. Ball came out, quick give, and a fine finish from young Justin Scripps.
He does look different, doesn't he, in a red leg jumper, where you're so used to seeing him in a Tiger outfit, and the Redlegs have recruited him for exactly that purpose.
He kicked a tough start this has been. The Redlegs are on fire, David.
3 minutes in, and the Redlegs have got 2 on the board, and the Eagles are shell shocked. They need the next. Beveridge rove the ball beautifully, drills it towards full forward. The kicker's on. Kluzak couldn't quite get there, dives forward. Fleming, good defensive work, gets it out to Doreen. Over the top now to Godden. He looks solid and tough in defence, and the kick is a beauty. Cunningham running hard at half-back. Delivers the ball towards half forward and taking front position as Scripps onto his natural lift. He puts it out into space. It's a terrific kick. Put it right in the right spot for Benny Wilson. Recovers, tackle, gets the handball away. Ugrinik and Ops, what a battle that'll be today. The two speedsters hard at it, but this time it's Ugrinik who wins the free.
Ben Wilson will be disappointed with that. It was fantastic foot skills from Norwood, bringing the ball up the ground. The ball right where it should have been taken. He just grasped it, and it's allowed the Eagles to run out of their back line.
Oh. Just stuck out the leg, did Cotton,
Beveridge
and pulled it back in. Beveridge got through nicely. Got a few important touches. Again, it's in an inside 50 for the Eagles. Dillon comes up, he tries to weave a bit of magic past a couple of Redlegs, gives it across to Colville. Colville, 45 out, puts it up in the air. Has he got the direction? I don't think he has. But the first score to the Eagles is a behind. They trail by 11 points over the Redlegs.
So important early in the game to get those scores on the board. We saw last week when we watched Sturt play, really had the ball on the string for the first 15 minutes, couldn't get a major on the board, and in the end, North Adelaide run all over them. Hopefully that won't happen to the Eagles today.
Michael, the Eagles have gone for a zone defence.
Yeah, interesting the way that they do this. There's a couple of different formations they use now, but the hole in the zone is always where somebody leads from.
And it's worked for the Eagles this time because Dillon chops it off on the left, goes straight towards goal, and he likes the look of it. It's his first, so the Eagles are on the board. That was the response they needed. The Redlegs have got off to a fly, but the Eagles get one back.
Yeah, the other advantage about the zone defence is if you can get the ball coming back in, because you're not manning up on somebody, nobody can man up on you. In this case, they're just going straight home. Inside 50 for a kick out, you've got to be on the body. A bad mistake kicking in.
Pretty impressive, Jason Dillon. It's the first major for the Eagles for the afternoon. 7 plays 12. The Redlegs still hang on to that lead. Again, Biglands and Pascoe. That's going to be a great duel this afternoon. Coming through hard was Manfield. Got rid of the football. Great tackle by Bowman. Good to see him back. Coming back again was Carslake. Handballs. Norwood go forward. Where's the Flyers? Good use of the body. Out front was Bassett. Couldn't take the ball. Again comes down to Scripps. Scripps lays it out wide for Wilson. Wilson can't quite get there. Hall's behind him. Heads for the boundary line and finds it.
Scripps has got the ball on a string. He likes this Norwood jumper, and he really is giving them an option up forward once it comes to the front of the pack. Good speed, good foot skills. He's going to be a great addition to this Norwood side.
He's got his hands full today with Hall. Biglands been probably the form ruckman of the competition. Hollands, who can play a wing out of a back pocket and has plenty of pace to burn, pushes the ball forward. Manfield playing at centre-half forward. Bowman's got the job on him, pushes him off. Did pretty well, the big defender. Just forced it forward. Had a game in the reserves last week just for fitness, and he seems to have benefited. Boulays puts it right to the spot, but Biglands drifting back. A big man kicked behind play. Forces it out. Cunningham quickly on to Kemp, and it's a high ball. The big men will fly, and a big punch comes. No, it didn't. Pearce crumbs it. Quickly gets out the reflex handball, and Biglands streaks away 45 was Sanford, who did well just to apply enough pressure. Off hands, it's Doreen. Dillon got him. Away goes the handball. It's tough in defence for both sides. James flicks it out to Godden, and Godden marks at right half-back.
James is so good at just creating that space in the centre of the ground, supplying an option, and then his foot and hand skills are excellent. He always gives a second clean possession to his teammate.
Norwood coming wide once again. Now straighten up. A little bit of a slip over there from Bassett. 45 it was, which is big Glenn Sanford at centre-half forward this afternoon. Allowed Tape to come in and take a mark. Well, the ball's gone, crisscrossed across to the other side of the oval.
Beveridge has
to Beveridge, he has, hasn't he?
5 possessions early, 6 early.
He's done well, covering a fair bit of territory. Up front again, Kluzak got his hands to the football, couldn't bring it down. Florian Arning needs to commit. He does now, applies the tackle. The umpire can only make one decision here, and that's the right one, holding the footy. He wants the ball quickly, he gets it. He's got a player out wide. That's the direction. The kick's not good there by Floriani. Number 11 coming through, Kluzak. Fair way out from goal. He loves to kick it. It's high, a touch from behind, nearly taken. Good work over the top of the football. And in the back, the free kick has been found and given.
Neiman.
Big David Neiman.
David Neiman coming back into football this year. If he can focus on football, he's got some great skills, this bloke. He's got a big, strong body. And very unlucky on the tackle, I thought. Just the momentum carried the tackler forward, pushed him in the back. David Neiman will shoot for a goal. Difficult position, but the wind will assist David.
You can't believe, Mark, that's 13 years since he made his debut. He's 28, and I still remember the day he kicked 6 on debut as a 16-year-old at Theberton Oval.
Theberton Oval, blast from the past.
Here he goes, lines up. As we said, the breeze will assist. It does pull back now, but it's just a little bit too late. So another behind to the Eagles, and move on to 1 goal, 2-8. They still trail by 4 points. Norwood on 2 goals.
And we'll see the structure that the Eagles put into place again. Looks like they're a half a zone, half manned up on the outriders, I think we call them. And there's not a lot of gaps in that. We'll start, once the ball comes back into the full-back square, you'll see Norwood start to run around and make some holes in it.
Fleming now, the kicker. Scotty Green just hands over the ball after that last lapse that allowed Dillon to goal. Fleming goes for the long option, set play, thumped by Bowman out the back. Pascoe couldn't rove it. Floriani does, but he gave up the handball under pressure. It was good work by the Redlegs as Cotton gives it out. Cunningham ended up with the ball from Kemp, and forward he goes right on the line. Carslake couldn't quite get there to rove it. We'll have a throw in at right half forward for the Redlegs.
Norwood's decision-making under pressure, just the quick give with the hand, seems to be just a little bit crisper than the Eagles at this point in time.
Biglands tries to thump it to the back door. There was no Eagle rover there. The Redlegs are very quick with their hands. Oh, just look at that. Beautifully done. Out it goes to Kemp. Wide. Wilson got to push to the umpire, and that's a free kick. So the umpires are right on anything, and Hall is not happy.
Definitely not happy. They've probably got a reasonable right to dispute that one as well.
Towards full forward. Look at this. Tape. I think this is his mark, isn't it, where he just drifts in. He's good overhead and he's good on the ground, Tape.
He is very good overhead, very strong and committed.
Gallagher out wide, straight up looking for Beveridge. Going to ground look like Cunningham. Beveridge now will pick it up. He has assistance here. Ugritic, lovely handball forward, allows Dillon to take it. He can come inside. No, nearly cleaned up. Inside 50, Dillon for his second. He's got it. What an effort.
That's his second. Fantastic piece of play from the Eagles. Again, the clearance from Tape in the full-back position. Controlled it, good run, and a wonderful handball from Ugritic. That was the one that set it up. Just a good decision. Put it out in front of the runner. Almost got...
Oh, he's come out like a steam train.
Clements.
Looking for the heavy body contact. I think that Dillon will be very pleased that he avoided that one.
I think he was in the crosshairs. And the trigger was pulled about here, but he just missed with a bullet. At the bounce. 14 plays, 12, 2-point ball game. The Eagles have just wrenched the lead away from the Redlegs. This is an absorbing encounter, and the midfields are really dominating.
Well, at the pace of the game, it really is electrifying at the moment.
This is a cracking pace. Biglands and Pascoe, good battle that one. Dead heat. Carslake off the pack, goes towards centre half forward, pushing and shoving. One hand, Bassett couldn't quite get there. Hollins, who's really made a mark out of the defensive back pocket, towards Floriani, who's enjoying the space.
Great kick.
Floriani short, sets it up for Pesh. They're running the Eagles. This is where they're dangerous. The Pesh kick puts it into space. Little push, no, said the umpire. Crowell was pushed, but no. And the mark is taken by Clements.
Yeah, I think Crowell knew that he was under the ball and tried to buy the free kick.
That's an interesting matchup, isn't it? Clements on Crowell. You'd think Crowell's got too much height, but perhaps Clements might just have the edge in pace. It's an interesting one.
It'll be good to see how that unfolds, but particularly the structure that Paul Hamilton's got in place. He's got 2 players right back deep in the goal square, everybody outside 50. So the amount that they've used that centre-half forward position, the story will soon be told.
Fruin comes through hard. The ball not clear. Karslake overruns it. Pesh again, just needs support. Comes back to his captain and Rogers. Rogers takes the body of Cotton. They're battling up pretty well, the Eagles' defence. Under a fair bit of extreme pressure out there. Biglands, it's a grubber up forward. Out front is Colville, knocks it to Floriani, has players in board, couldn't find it. Great commitment, 28 coming through hard, was Godden. Again, Norwood have the numbers out wide. Oh, the kick by Lockie Bowman. Wouldn't want to see that again. 47's Gallagher.
That's the Oraroo kicking skills coming out there.
Well, no, fellas, he was looking for an option at half forward and there wasn't one, so he did the next best thing and tried to bring it back to centre forward. There was nobody leading to his leg. He had no choice. This is Manfield, outside 50, points it to the point of the square. Crowell at the back, Clements at the front. Neiman had an area and missed it, but Doreen came crashing through. Kluzek got him, but look at Godden mopping up. He is a terrier.
He certainly is. Troy Clements did a good job there to push the ball over the line. But again, just coming out as the game unfolds, that Norwood's hand skills just seem a little bit cleaner, but the desperation of the Eagles is keeping him in the game. They really are doing a good job across their half-back line.
Manfield thumps it down. Getting away with that one, Robert Neal on the left, goes wide, good defensive posture to take. It just hasn't quite worked as Pearce cut it off inside the line. Gallagher sidesteps Ball Ace. That's another good battle to watch. As Gallagher and Ball Ace fight it out, the kick comes in long. Neiman was up early, Crowell at the back, and off hands, Pascoe did the job and thumps it through for a point.
Good discipline, and I'd say the structure coming out from Paul Hamilton again. He's got those 2 players in the goal square, and you can see they're just starting to pepper that 10-metre line. Each time they get the ball, that's where they're headed, looking for a mark, or if the ball comes to the front, get their runners in there through the 50-metre vacant spaces, get the crumb and get the score on the board.
Great camera shot there. As the ball's kicked in high, Bowman couldn't take a good sport by Biglands from behind. Now who's first? This will be Bassett. Comes out. He needs to give the handball away. Floriani again just needs to get amongst it. Kick up forward by Obbs. Good use of the body again by Jamie Tape. He's pretty big ass. Michael having to pick up Glenn Sanford.
It is, and he just showed his strength in the upper body there to be able to push Sanford out of the way, who is a very big and strong man.
Well, Beveridge lays the ball out to Colville. Colville has the lead out front. Where's Kluzak? He's got 2 players to contend with. Picked up now by Ugrinik from 51 metres. The kick. He's got the breeze behind him. Has he the distance? He has that. Is he the accuracy? I think he has. That's his first, and that's the Eagles' third.
That is a fantastic kick from Adam Ugrinik. Just off a couple of steps, banged it long and banged it accurately. And that was the other score that the Eagles have been wanting. They really have had a lot of effort at the ball, controlled the ball for the last 3 or 4 minutes, and to get the finish. That's a great kick, isn't it? Just to take it, burst, head down, go fast, and to have the skill to finish it.
I thought Kluzek's attack was just outstanding. Created the goal. 3-3 to 2 goals.
That was in early. Ben Kemp.
Biglands. Too many men in the square for the Redlegs. And Biglands drills it long and low and wide, but Doreen reads it much better. The target was Kluzek, but the kick drifted. And Doreen read it superbly. Rebounding from half-back, drives towards centre forward. And Fruin has taken a specky. Mark Nayley liked it.
Oh, that's one for the... Has to be to put in the file for this year. I guess Gary men all night.
One-hander. They look good, don't they? Biglands drives it long. Colville was the target, but Pascoe's playing the same role that Biglands is. Kick behind, played the big man. Colville would do well to take it out of play and reset, but he just couldn't quite get it clear. And the Redlegs are able to run it. Ball Ace with space. Off to Pascoe. I'm not sure that was the right option. Karslake did pretty well. Getting it out was Kemp. Ball Ace sidesteps. Pesh got him. The kick was short. Bassett, Scripps fights hard for it. Tumbles it out the back door where Pesh steals it away. Gets it out to Dillon. Flick one onto Floriani. A high ball towards half forward and into space was a pretty good option as it runs on. Neal couldn't quite there. Got a shove. Kluzek taken high. Plounce at the umpire. Now it's Fleming. Hands and knees, fighting hard. The Eagles are fighting just as hard.
Good hands.
It was Neiman to Ugrinik. He's kicked one. Make that. 1 goal, 1. It was such a good build-up, but a point the result.
Adam Ugrinik this time took some time, took 3 or 4 steps to steady, and you can see the look of his face, disappointed, but...
Oh, there's that grab, just one arm. It was
like that,
lovely
Miles?
to watch.
And Bassett's a pretty strong man.
Oh, wrong arm too, that's a great grab. Isn't there some great contests out there today, some players, the matchups.
The individual contest in this match, I think, will be a highlight all day.
Will be. Biglan's has got the sit. Oh, nearly a good mark there taken by Manfield. Oh, taken high was Pearce by Bowman. He loves it tough, he loves it rough. But Pearce, he's up to the occasion. Quick thinking, gets it inboard. Beveridge for possession number 9, puts it out. Lovely for Kluzak.
Great kick.
That is quality football by quality players. Allows Kluzak now to line up for his first goal of the afternoon.
And Beveridge has got the ball on the string. He's everywhere. He's getting kicks across the half-back line. He's running forward, setting it up. Player to watch for the rest of the day for sure.
Oh, you're right, Mark. It was set up by Pearce, though, wasn't it?
Got up. I love to see players get up and get back, get their head around and see what's forward. We're back with it now with Kluzak. He loves kicking a goal, as I mentioned before. This one, I don't think he has. No, he shakes the head. The umpire puts up one finger. So the Eagles move on to 3-5. They're 23. They lead by 11 points over Norwood, just on 2 solitary goals.
Again, the Eagles really at the ball. Their intensity at the ball is fantastic. And they're starting to control it, run it forward, and getting some cleaner options.
Paul Hamilton on the right there in the Eagles Brains Trust. And his side are looking the goods. Neville Roberts in charge with the Redlegs. They're both playing attacking football. This is probably the fastest opening of a match we've seen this year. Crowell gave up the handball. Carslake had the presence of mind to hold the ball, but the kick was probably just as high as it was long. Rogers destroys. Colville was with good hands. Gives it up to Holland, who was tackled and claimed. Crowell just threads through traffic. Gets the kick away. Finally, it was smothered, though. Holland feeds it wide. The runner is Pearce. Well, he's so productive, Pearce, isn't he? A high 9-iron almost towards Neiman. He got underneath it. Fleming did well to hold his ground. Doreen was claimed. Still got the handball forward. Here's Manfield working hard. Off it goes to Biglands. The big man from 48 out is off to the right, and another point. The Eagles have had 3 goals, 6. They've had 9 scoring shots. The Redlegs have had a couple.
Yeah, the Redlegs had those early opportunities, but since that time, it really has been the Eagles, and we see an interchange getting ready. Aaron Keating ready to come back on, or come on for his first run.
So Norwood again, just slowing down proceedings. Keating throws the bottle back. He's keen to get out there. He wants a touch of league football for season 2000. Oh, Manfield, what a grab out front. Well, we've seen him a couple of times. I know, David, you weren't that impressed with his first outing, but...
Oh, no, his first half was good. I thought his second half, he just lacked a bit of conditioning.
Change has been made. Pascoe's come off and Keating's gone on as the Eagles sit up again. This is Dillon. He's already kicked 2.
I think that's a fair move by Neville Roberts, because Biglands was really outworking Pascoe. Keating is fresh, although he has... he's probably not got enough football under his belt, Keating, but he'll give them a burst.
We're just seeing Pascoe played most of his football, Michael, up forward, whether he's been in the pocket or at full forward. Great at kicking goals, but the big fella may be finding a little bit difficult to keep up with Brett Biglands. Dillon comes in from 40 metres, puts it high, and has the accuracy. So that's his third. A great start by Jason Dillon. Eagles now move out to 4 goals, 6-30. They lead Norwood just on 2 goals.
And again, that goal was set up by a very good decision from John Floriani. He got the ball, held it, weighted it nicely, and there's that grab again. A fantastic grab from Matthew Manfield. Really strong overhead.
We have seen some great highlights today. Dillon, 3 goals from 3 kicks. Doreen's got him. Doreen's been doing most of the rebounding for the Redlegs, but Dillon's got away from him. So maybe just Doreen has to tighten up. As taken high was Kemp, but no, so the umpire was holding the ball. This is Matthew Kluzak, the 26-year-old brother of 3-goal star. And that's a push. What's that? It is, it's a push. So it's Fleming's ball from half-back. Off it goes to Robert Neal. Now, where's Obst? He takes off the speedster, but Ugrinik goes with him. It's a pushing contest. Ugrinik got fist the ball, and at the back, Fruin will mop up. That's been a good battle, Bassett and Fruin today. Pearce, slick. Oh, Holland.
Very nice.
Hasn't he exploded from defence beautifully? He's just
he's taken the ball.
He's taken them all on and he's doing a great job, but the kick was wayward and Bowman marks and just resets the Redleg defence.
Yeah, Dutchy Holland just breaking out of the half-back line again. He really is supplying the forwards with some chance. He would be disappointed in his delivery that time, though.
Well, he had the option to come out wide to the wing, had players loose, but it was good to see Holland just back himself. He's a quick little customer. He straightened the body up, looked towards his full forward. Okay, the execution of the kick wasn't good, but I'm sure Coach Paul Hamilton would like to see him do that.
Push on Keating, push on Keating.
I think it's very clear that Paul Hamilton's directions to his boys are to get the ball in long to the head of the square and give his big guys up there. That's a shocker. That is a year out of football for you. Went north, only had a rugby ball to play with last year when he was living in Queensland. The skill error. Very disappointing from Coach Neville Roberts.
Look, I guess Neville's going to be not too unhappy. He knows that the big fellow needs some time to get back into footy.
Ball's up wide again, coming through as Keating. This time he gives the handball across to the smaller player. He's useful in Cunningham. Good handball inside. Cotton, the overlap. Oh, interception there by Pearce. Scott Colville out wide. No, he hasn't. Ukrinik this time comes back to Pesh. Pesh, right leg over the left shoulder. High, where's the sit? Who's there? Oh, going back with it. Looked like I think it was Fleming.
Fleming did the job for the Redlegs.
Coming back, just allowed enough. Got a hand to the football and just forced a rush behind.
Yeah, I thought Matthew Kluzak was going to get a sit there. Just half a step away from where he wanted to be for the fall of the ball.
I tell you what, there's an amount of courage, and when you fly for a ball,
yes,
you just have to go, and Fleming did the job. The question was asked, and he answered it beautifully, Fleming, and the kick is a ripper. So that breeze perhaps not as strong as we all think. Sneaking through, Kemp feeds it off to Obbs. Watch the speeds to go towards half forward. It goes wide. Tapers front position. Couldn't quite get to the bounce of the ball. Hall feeds it out to Tape. Gee, he looks magnificent as he goes towards the boundary line. That was the option. Carslake was clean bowled.
Kick.
As it turned out, Floriani to Colville. Short was Biglands, but Colville will go back and take the longer option. But it's only Pesh. So he's waiting for a big man like Biglands to move into the hole. But he decides to centre it up to Kluzak, who gives him an option. One-on-one. Man on man, Fleming and Kluzak go at it. Neither got to the contest. It was Pesh just handballing into space. Neil short, and that was good work in the final wash. As Cotton marks, plays on quickly. Here comes Obst again. Let's see what he can do with this one. A high ball. Gee, they're not giving their forwards much chance, are they? It's just coming in high to the Redlegs. They're not leading to space at all, their forwards, and it's congested. It's not working for them. Beveridge from half back. He's dominating the midfield. And towards half forward he goes. Crowell underneath that one. Well, Clements has done the job cutting Crowell out of the contest. He's been a very good defender so far.
Yes, the limited opportunities for the Norwood forwards over the last 15 minutes. Gone in long, and Tape has been exceptionally overhead, taking some good, strong marks.
Both centre players, and James and also Beveridge. Beveridge has had 11 possessions so far in the game. James has only had 7.
I think Beveridge has had the more damaging mark.
Oh, he has. I mean, they're both playing fairly wide of each other. They can't allow this to happen for the remainder of the game. Colville comes to the top of the square once again. Push on push. There they are at the back. Again, it's Fleming pushed over by Floriani.
Just reads it
Another
so well.
rush behind.
Just reads it so well, Michael, doesn't he?
Yeah, Fleming is good fullback. Excellent contest overhead. Again, that structure that the Eagles have got in long, and that's a good, strong mark by Lockie Bowman.
Well, Bowman and Manfield is another one of the matchups that we're watching with interest today. We're just on 25 minutes into the first term, and it's been absorbing already between those two players. Getting the ball away, Ben Kemp towards half forward. No mark taken by Sanford. They seem to have brought Sanford out to just create a contest across half forward. Here goes Holland again. Gets a great shepherd from Floriani, but Bowman was Holland who got the ball away. Floriani did the hard work. Neil to Kemp. Holds the kick. And
Tape
big
again.
mark Tape.
He's dominating.
Biglands plays on. 6 marks to Tape. He is dominating the air in defence, and that one's Clements. So really there's been some outstanding marking already in this match. As Clements forces the ball wide, that's the way the Redlegs are being forced to go. Cotton, Rogers, manhandle, and the umpire says, you don't like that, mate.
Decision is right, but really Cotton was sort of holding back, shepherding away from the football. All Rogers wanted to do was get him out of the way so he'd get hold of the football. That's all he wanted. Oh, the push. What's the umpire going to do? No, he doesn't. He allows the ball to be thrown in.
I think it was
Tape.
a little shove and Tape took a dive.
That was one of the great dives.
Hasn't he started well, Jamie Tape? 5 kicks, 6 marks and 2 handballs.
There's plenty to think he's a very good AFL footballer.
Oh, there's a good call, David.
Bit of time. He started with Richmond. Country boy over from, I think it's Yorktown on the York Peninsula. Tape, a very well-known family.
The Tape brothers and cousins, they all go pretty well and hard.
So it's Hall to bring the ball back in. We're nearly 27 minutes into this first quarter. It's been a great contest between these two sides, and they'll be amongst the finals season come September. Well, actually starts in August this year, our finals. Goes up. 31, the Scotty Bassett. Oh, he goes for the top of the square. He's back there. Wilson can't quite find enough space. The umpire again blows the whistle.
Hall and Wilson. There's another one. They're everywhere, aren't they, today?
Yeah. Just good, honest, man-on-man contests. One of the great features of this game of ours. Stand next to your man, see if you can beat him.
Sanford in ruck, pushes and shoves. Carslake, who's got one already, bends it around the corner. Will it bounce forward? Where's Pearce? Yeah. Well, like Fleming at the other end, you just want either of them fighting for your life, wouldn't you?
That's right. If you're in the trenches, they're the boys that you want next to you. That's why their personalities reflect that they should be in the back line where their desperation does the best for their team. And there it is, just desperate to get to the ball. Push it over for the single score.
So Hall just waits now.
Norwood,
players standing around.
Sorry, mate. Norwood also using his own defence.
Just hung on the ball a little bit too long, I believe. Over the back is Biglands takes. He's got Colville running past. The big fella takes another mark for the afternoon. That's his third. And Michael, that was a very entertaining first quarter of football.
That was a fantastic opening to a great game of football. Very early in the quarter, Norwood had the ball, really through their hand skills, really controlled the game probably for the first 5 minutes and had it across their half-forward line. Couple of rushes forward from the Eagles, couldn't get the score on the board, but then the control and the setup that Paul Hamilton's got with 2 guys in the square, go long to the square, good skills, and Norwood got the score on the board and have played a good game of footy.
So quarter-time score, see the Eagles, they're on 4 goals, 8-32. The Redlegs, 2 goals, 1-13. And you're watching all the action on ABC Sport. So again, the Redlegs, they come forward. The back is nil. Good work there by Colville just to hold possession. Now he takes it, throws the ball out towards in his direction, which was good. Bassett, taken by Ugrinik. The tackling of the Eagles has been very good in this quarter.
At the 18.5-minute mark of the second term, Keating and Biglands in ruck. Keating wins this one, thumps it down. Obs to Ball Ace. Ball Ace claimed too high by Crowell, and the umpire says the little rover has a free kick for the Redlegs.
Probably a touch lucky. Was ducking the mustard, I think we call it.
Ducking the chutney.
That's what I was looking for. Couldn't find it.
And the kick from Keating. Well, that's his second today, and I guess the lesson there is the little fellas have just got to run off him. He's had 2 kicks and both have gone out of bounds on the full, so the Mark Nailey theory stands true today.
Rogers is injured. Doesn't look good. He's got trainers looking after him. He's limping on a half-back line, as you can see. Ankle, possibly corky, maybe. We just need to watch. He's holding his left knee. It looks like he may be coming off. He looks towards the head trainer. Again, back there. Keating front position on Biglands. Takes a good mark. This time he decides to give the handball. They'll screaming at him. Give the handball. Don't kick. Bassett. Good ball. Heard the voice from behind. 38 coming through hard was
Gallagher. It's a good move. He's picking up Beveridge too. Fresh legs.
Well, Clements from a half-back line. Backman love kicking goals. He just kicked ones. As we see, Andrew Rogers does come off. But good work by Norwood and much-needed goal. They're 3-4-22. Still trailed by 23 points. The Eagles 6-9-45.
Yeah. First goal for 45 minutes. It's been a long, hard road since those first 2 goals early in the first quarter. But it is a good move from Rocky Roberts, I think. Put Gallagher into the middle, try to contain Beveridge. See if he can get it quieten him and give some options going forward, because Norwood really have struggled to give their forwards some good quality entries so far in this game.
Biglands. Pearce got the kick away. It's interesting when you just watch Cotton throw that ball into the boot, how much mental pressure there is in the middle of the ground. The tackling was so ferocious in the first quarter and a half that the players have really got a lot of mental pressure on them now. Floriani towards half forward. Colville was the target, and the kick was just centimetre perfect. Boulais could do nothing about it. It just dropped right in the hole, and Rogers is getting that leg attended to. And that's a big one.
You can see it. I wasn't going to interrupt you, Dave. You can see Bigland worked hard from the centre of the ground into that pocket. And I think Colville just thought, well, I might just give this bloke a chance to take a big specky. He did. He put on the Norwood's player's head. And there, Biglands didn't let him down.
And I'm just thoroughly impressed with this forward setup.
So Rhett Biglands back on an AFL list with the Crows, and confidence growing. Big mark and big goal. It was an important one. Goal number 22 in a short career of only 35 games.
I mentioned the forward setup, just the way that Paul Hamilton has structured this. He's got his players in the goal square. Everybody else outside 50 is just a big space for somebody to work into, or for one of the guys in the goal square to lead into. And if there's nothing really on, it's the head of the square, and it just seems that the whole team knows where the fall of the ball is going to be.
He's pretty close to playing AFL football again, as Rhett Biglands.
Well, he was an emergency today, wasn't he?
It was an emergency today. The thoughts were, as yesterday, that he may be taken over to WA on standby. But for Eagles' sake, he's out here this afternoon. He's playing a great game. Already disposed of Pascoe. Now he's got Keating out there. Tate will run back on this football. Great work by Holland. Umpire pays the free kick. He now calls the player to play on. He handballs over the top. Floriani, good voice from Beveridge from behind. Floriano played it pretty cool. It's up high again. In front was Manfield, couldn't take it. Kluzak's in there also. Boulais, well, best last week. Boulais really has had a quiet afternoon.
6 goals didn't he kick last week? And he's only had how many possessions, Michael?
Just the 2 handballs today, David. It is a very different Scott Boulais.
3 kicks as well, so 5 possessions to him, as Keating, who's starting to just win some of the ball, thumps it down. Norwood to Pearce. Kluzak couldn't quite get there. Darzanos is on the field, giving the Eagles some fresh legs, as Neil thumps it out to Clements, the last goal kicker for the Redlegs. He's doing everything. He's attacking from defence, and he's kicking goals from a half-back flank. Good shepherd by Cotton off the ball. Allows Clements to continue to run down the outer wing. A high one towards half-forward. One-on-one contest, and Gallagher's giving them just a contest, a fighting contest. Holland to the boundary line. Scripps got him in the tackle. But I'm very impressed with Gallagher. He's come on and he's nullified Beveridge, and he's really taking the fight to the Eagles.
He's a good, strong player. He's in, and he's tough, and Biglands again just starting to dominate.
Will be good to see how Keating does run this game out. Would have done a fair bit of work on the track, only with a finger injury. A good tackle again. Umpire's called hole in the ball now.
I guess prior opportunity is the test there, isn't it?
Well, we might not see that again, but just to land a little bit too hot, possibly.
Yep, you're absolutely right, Niles, no question.
A little bit too hot. I mean,
you've got to have
nowhere
time.
else to go.
You've got to
had to run into the arms there. It was a pretty tough call. But they've been warned about it this year. Players just got to keep that football alive. You will run into that situation, we'll just need to get it out. Otherwise, you will be penalised. Again, Gallagher takes it on. He gets tackled.
That's all
gets
over.
The handball. No, he doesn't. He got the handball out.
That's a free for sure.
Well, it's not. The umpire's kept his whistle in his back pocket. It's gone up forward. Good mark by Fleming.
Ran the distance, took him on, and miscued. Bang, blow the whistle.
If he was taking the ground, would have definitely been. Kept his feet, kept his composure, and gave the handball again. Beveridge, outstanding first half, along with Jamie Tate. Going back with Fleming with great courage. Comes down to Kluzak. Kluzak around the body. Thank you. Another goal to the Norwood side. That's his first.
That was a fantastic kick from Kluzak. He just looked up off one step. You could see him just change the angle of the ball in his hand. Just kicked across the back of the ball. Great finish. They're the sort of things that really get the momentum going in the forward lines. Again, that guy's played a fair game, hasn't he, David?
Beveridge. Well, you think he's already had 2 opponents, and we've only played, 25 minutes into the second term. 16 possessions, so he's doing the damage, and Kluzak's finishing at the other end. He's giving them a real contest and holding the ball in the forward line, and Fleming has really had his hands full and so far has done a pretty good job. Bowman, who seems to be ready to come back on for the Redlegs on screen after being off with the blood rule. It's 8-9 to 3-4, 25 and a half minutes into the second term. Colville at ground level tries to flick the ball forward. He does so successfully. Gallagher tries to crash through, got a handball away this time, then a second. Goes forward, oh, crashing blow on Newitt. And it's Floriani who picked up the crumb and goes forward. One grab, two bites. Kluzak couldn't get there. Neil at the back door. Matthew Kluzak applies pressure, and it's Bassett who started in attack but is now back in defence, forcing the ball forward. Gallagher, short, and look at the kick. It's a beauty, and Kluzak's got it. This is Christopher Kluzak, 45 metres out, directly in front. The goal kicker will have a shot.
Just the intensity of the tackling from both teams is still right there. We saw a frenetic start to the game, and it really hasn't dropped off.
Dylan kicked 3 goals in the first quarter. Kluzak's got one. Now, Doreen shut Dylan out of the game this term. He's really tightened up, and Kluzak bobs up and goes for goal, this time offline, and a point.
He does give them another option down there, Matthew Kluzak.
The two Kluzak
Christopher Kluzak got the wrong one. Both big, strong lads.
Ball's kicked in, taken by Crouch.
I didn't see him there. We sort of lose that corner of the ground from the commentary position. I thought he'd kicked it straight out of bounds.
Crouch heads up, Keating in from behind, Manfield in front, wants the ball, wants to break through, went without it, so Keating picks it up. Oh, Biglands does a Maradona and sockers the ball through the mare. Well, Ugrinik, what else could he do? Couldn't take it, he would have been tackled. As we hear the half-time siren here, Michael Parsons, and the Eagles really went on from where they started in that first quarter.
They certainly did. There's been some fantastic football played today, some excellent highlights. And we saw at quarter time the score's 32-13. It's now pushed out to 58-22. And it really has been the tenacity of this Eagles team we see on screen. The forward structure has thoroughly impressed me. And just some of their players that have popped up, Beveridge in particular, I thought has been excellent. Pearce, Tate and Holland continue to dominate throughout the first quarter.
So half-time here at Adelaide Oval sees the Eagles 8 goals, 10-58. The Norwood Redlegs 3-4-22. And you're at home watching all the action exclusively to ABC Sport.
And what a game, 36 points the margin, and the Eagles have the lead. I just don't know that too many people would have tipped the Eagles particularly. I know Mark Naley, who just joins us now, has jumped in from the other side of the commentary chair. I know you backed the Redlegs today by a fair old margin.
Yeah, so well, I had a footy punt this morning. I actually rang David to get his advice because you were so good at that. And I think it was about 30 points to the Redlegs you gave me this morning. So at this stage of the game, my money's not looking good.
No wonder we don't allow you in this chair too often. That is not entirely true. What about, did you go into the footy tipping in the WW footy site?
I haven't an opportunity. Computers, just leave me alone with them, please. I really don't know how to use them.
Just don't forget to throw the old sheepskin over the back when you go to bed at night. Now, these people did. M. Horn, Darren Burke, Ian Trainer, Chris Turnley, S. McDonald, D. Horn, P. Armstrong, S. Mitchell, Melanese, John Brooks. Now, those Horns have done a horn job.
Yes, they have. They've done
M&D.
very, very well. MND.
So if you're thinking about putting in your SANFL footy tips around the country, don't forget you go to our website. Now, Mark, you can do this website for us, can't you?
I'll try my hardest to do this website.
www.
It's www.
Come on, keep going.
It'll keep coming through. www. There's a backslash or a forward slash. No, it's www.abc.net.au, not dot. No, it's a backslash, local, forward slash. So there's 2 forward slashes in there. SA footy. Get your footy tips in.
Oh, this is a footy show. This is not a comedy show. But when Mark Naley joins us and tries to do anything, we certainly enjoy it. Hope you are at home as we go to the scoreboard at half-time that shows the Eagles leading by 36 points. At quarter time, the game really was still in the balance, Mark, to be fair, with the Redlegs coming on with the breeze.
Well, the Eagles have surprised me this afternoon. Their little brigade have been outstanding, led by Beveridge in the middle on top of James at the moment. Colville and those sort of players really have been good, and they've had a good forward structure. But the big plus has been Biglands, as you see there. He kicked the goal up to half-time, but the main target was Dylan with 3 in the first quarter, Manfield with 1, Beveridge and Kluzak and Ugrinik also with 1. And for the Redlegs, well, we just saw there with Scripps and also Clements and Carslake.
Now, Professor Naley hands over his hat to Professor Parsons.
Well, I do this week. We just see the stats there, Michael.
Yes, you can see the kicks. Eagles are slightly in front. Everything else, or marks overhead, that's where the Eagles really have got in front. Tape has really dominated in the air. Fruin has supplied a target at centre-half forward. And hit-outs also, Brett Bigland's really putting his name up for an AFL Guernsey again, starting to dominate around the ground. And as far as just individuals are concerned...
No, we can't do that, Michael. Don't worry about that. He's working with amateurs. It's so hard. We won't let him do that again.
Well, that's his first opportunity to do the stats, and it could be his last. We see down there, Biglands, as I mentioned, David, up to half-time. He's a big, powerful man. He's been up against Pascoe to start with.
Actually,
Pascoe came off, but there's the problem for the Eagles. We saw there just before half-time, I think, Michael, that Andrew Rogers at half-back did go off.
Yeah, he did just applied a tackle and twisted the knee, and you'll see him sitting down, stretching it out. We'll be very keen to find out if he's going to take any further part in the game.
Umpire Tim Slavin is preparing to bounce. But I guess, fellas, as we prepare for the third quarter, we might be able to give shortly the results of the head of the river. So stay with us through the third quarter and we'll give you those results. Just picking up the commentary. No, it's me. Thank you, Mark. Bounce. Biglands doesn't quite get there. Beveridge flicks out the handball. It's Ugrinnik running down the outer wing towards full forward. Chris Kluzak roving. Trying to crash through as Darzanos gives it off to Pesh. Pesh turns it around the corner. The Little Rovers combining beautifully, but this time it results in a point, Michael, for the Eagles.
Yeah, Nick Pesh just getting his way back into football. He's strained a calf early in the year in one of the trial games. And this is really his first full game. He's a great player, and he will no doubt as they recover the football from on top of the ground equipment. But Nick Pesh will get better as he gets some more time on the ground and his fitness builds.
Fleming about to bring the ball back in. Comes grandstand side. It's a high ball out wide. Going up will be Keating. Crouch. Crash there was Matthew Kluzak. Down to Floriani. Spotted a player in the pocket by himself. Puts it high. That was Christopher Kluzak. Picking up number 14 looks like Dan Zanos for his first run for the afternoon. Oh, is he happy with that one? He has to be. It's a goal to the Eagles, though. First blood after half-time. The Eagles 9-11-65. The Redlegs 3-4-22.
Spiro Danzanos spent the first half sitting on the bench, didn't get a look at the football, and with his first touch, fantastic pace, good balance, and just got rid of it nicely. And that's the start that the Eagles were looking for.
Well, you think of the AFL clubs and they're looking for pace. Holland is probably a little old at 26 to be recruited, but this fellow's 20 with pace to burn.
I think Ugrinnik has come off with a hamstring, David, so that's not a good sign again for the Eagles. They've been so good in this game, but they're starting to lose players.
9-11 plays, 3 goals for the Eagles, taking a stranglehold in this match as Keating thumps it down to Cunningham. They need those two fellows combining. Sanford now at centre-half forward. Feeds it off to Cunningham, who's run through a line. They didn't have many players running through a line in the first half, and they paid the price, the Redlegs, but it's Tape who's marked so wonderfully well. He's marked everything that's come his way today. 9 marks and playing a bottler in defence to Beveridge, who's finding plenty of the ball. Had 3 opponents today so far in this match. Off it goes to Darzanos. He gets through. No, he doesn't. Crouch got him. Tackles on, says the umpire, and holding the ball, the result.
Yeah, first kick was first touch in footy was a goal. Second touch, free kick.
Well, Norwood coach and Neville Roberts has made some changes up towards Sanford. It now being moved to centre-half forward. Comes again, Bruin. Grandstand side to Pearce. Pearce just chips the ball out to the running Colvin. Needs to sit because he's going to be contested here by Clements. Clements just put enough pressure on, then goes back for a tackle without the football.
Dead right.
And we'll take it.
He can hold his head up, this fellow, Michael.
Yeah, it's been one of the best, supplied some good run off the half-back line.
The Clements, the kick's not good. Gallagher should take this. Couldn't take it. Comes inside again. 38. Coming through hard there was Gallagher. The ball comes out. 11 is James. A chance again for Neil over the top. Good handball to Sanford. Sanford wants to come back inboard. He does. Then around the bodies. He kicked the major.
Hit the post, did it?
It has. So another behind to the Redlegs. They move on now to 3-5-23. That's a big margin.
If Norwood are going to get back into this game, that man has to really start to dominate at centre-half forward. He's had a very quiet day. I think he's only taken 1 mark to date. If he can supply that target at the half forward, then Redlegs will be into the show. 1 mark, 3 kicks and 2 handballs is Glenn Sanford's return so far today.
I guess the other thing that they need from him is a physical presence, an intimidating presence. As Hall has already had Wilson shifted off him at full forward. Goes for it. This is Crowell. Not in the game in the first half. Hardly saw any of the ball. Floriani, who's been very good today, to Chris Kluzak, who's been excellent. And Fleming's been terrific too. But what a mark. I mean, Fleming did everything right there, but just couldn't stop it, Mark.
Oh, it was tremendous effort. But the kick just perfectly placed out in front. Gave him a good chance, didn't he, Michael?
Again, this forward structure that Coach Hamilton has got with these guys now, just giving them every opportunity. Gets them run from the back line. They really are set up well.
One so far today. Couple against Port and 5 goals, 2 against Sturt. He is a real goal kicker.
Oh.
The kick is a beauty. The Eagle fans like it. They're 10-11, the Eagles, 3-5, the Redlegs. What about this?
Not a lot of people would have thought about this at the start of the day, but that's a great kick from Kluzak. He's kicked it from outside 50, and it's gone a good 10 metres beyond the goal sticks. And there's that mark again, tucking it into his chest, just a strong body and at the ball. And again, a solid finish.
Well, Andrew Rogers, the captain, he's warming up. I thought he may have taken no part in this game for the rest of the afternoon, but he's out. He's a tough little customer. The Eagles go forward once again. In front this time, Norwood. Pesh couldn't take it. Hewitt comes through. Oh, good work by Cotton. He's got no support. Throws the ball in the air. Somehow it's landed in Kemp's hand. Kemp straightens the body. Kicks up towards centre-half forward. Sanford is there. He'll be taken by 3 or 4 Eagles players. They had the numbers. Finished with Beveridge. Back to Dutchy Holland. Holland goes back to Jamie Tate, my best player up to half-time. Kicks it down the line. 14 running across hard. There was Darzanos. Couldn't take it. Norwood player taken without the football. The umpire has paid the free kick. He has. So Scotty Doreen takes the free kick. Gets the ball moving quickly. James couldn't take it. The umpire has blown the whistle. He's paid the mark. Well, what's he paid there? Must have paid the mark. He didn't even touch it.
Anticipated.
Oh, well, slowed up things. Gives the Eagles boys the time to get back. Hobbs, quick to play on. Over the top. Couldn't take it. Fruin been outstanding also this afternoon across half-back. And good handball out over the boundary line.
Now, Mark, we talked about the head of the river earlier. We've got the results. If you're watching in the girls' first aid, it's Scotch who got across the line just in front of Wilderness, and Walford took 3rd position. And in the boys' first aid, it was St. Peter's who got the chocolates, and Scotch with Prince Alfred 3rd.
Yes, I used to teach a little at Prince Alfred College. Would have liked to see them up there early.
Well, that would explain a lot of that delinquency, Michael.
Definitely back. Darzanos, a little terrier, round the body. They really have this afternoon, I reckon, exploited.
Well, Sanford,
they've been very quick.
Sanford creamed him, but I reckon that's Sanford's role today. He's just going to have to rough up a few Eagles and just start to create some holes for the little red men to run through.
And he's going on with it at centre-half forward, off camera, a little action.
Kluzak out front again. Well, you play in front, you get the benefits, and we see a change be made. Newitt's come off. He just replaced before the player in Ugrinnick. You see Rogers come back on. Well, Kluzak has kicked 2. Kicked 1 in that second quarter. We just saw him kick 1 before. About the same distance. The angle a little bit wider. He's pushed this one across the back as his brother Matthew. Couldn't quite get the set. It's been touched, so it will be thrown in. Beside the point post here, inside the Eagles' 50-metre zone.
Aaron Keating still on the ball for the Norwood team. He really has been out of football for a little while. We've got a thumb injury. Back into it today.
Bassett thumps it away. Now that could have been dangerous because it came to the head of the square. He really needed to go to the boundary line. Clements did well. Beveridge flicks it out. Dillon, who's kicked 3, turns it around the corner, but this one's offline. Well, Doreen really let him get away, Michael, in the first quarter where he got 3, but no question Doreen tightened up in the second term.
Yeah, I admire the way Scotty Doreen plays his football. Dillon did get away in that first quarter, but Scott tightened up and is starting to provide some run off that half-back line for the Norwood team.
Yeah, I've been very impressed with Beveridge this afternoon. He just doesn't go to ground. He holds his feet. Even then, he just held or used his leg strength to keep him up and just gave the handball across. It was good. Bigland's strong, tough at behind. Gives a shepherd on Bowman. Bowman gives him a mouthful. The kick wasn't good by Gallagher. This gives Kemp the free kick. Half back. Norwood thump it back in. Keating should take this if he gets there. Oh, the big fella Missed a fair bit of football so far in season 2000, but the free kick's been found. Will come back to Obbs. Throw back by Keating. Gives Obbs the ball. He's quickly to move the ball up forward. Who's up there? Big Sanford's there. Good sport from behind by Fruin. Well read there by, looked like Neil over the top. Was it Doreen? In fact. So Doreen brings up his first major. A much-needed goal for the boys in the red and blue.
Yeah, again, excellent running from Scotty Doreen. We saw him in the contest in the fullback line just moments ago. Really worked hard to cover the ground. Where he should be, front and centre. Picked it up, and he has really got excellent foot skills. Spent some time with Hawthorn. Been over with Norwood now. I think this would be his third year.
They're in Swans. And in other matches around the SANFL this afternoon. We'll get them to you as soon as we can. We can't see them, so we can't give them to you, I'm sorry, at home, so we'll give them to you in just a few moments. So we apologise, we're not getting them in the commentary box, but apparently the people at home did, so we apologise for that technical glitch. The Eagles are 10-12, Norwood are 4-5.
Kemp, handball's back. Eagles go forward once again. Sanford's giving him an option up forward. Fruin will not just give him any space. In there again, looked like Dutchy Holland over the top. Hall's in there as well. In there is Crouch. Again, Holland just there to take on Crouch if he came out with it. Umpire quickly runs in, blows the whistle, be bounced up. So we're 50 metres out.
I think Coach Rocky Roberts has given Sanford the spoon, said go and stir him up.
Yeah, I think that's the right move too, by the way. I reckon Rocky's on the job there because they've just got to create some holes for their little fellas to run through.
Again, they're in there fighting. Gallagher, Crouch, a couple of youngsters in the SANFL. Well, with 10.5 minutes, 29 plays, 72, and we're in the third quarter. I wouldn't call this an upset, but the Eagles really have shown today, without Ciccarella and also Shirley, a couple of their danger players, they can still match it with the best. Well, the free kick, no, it's ball played on over the top. Hall intercepts it. Tate been outstanding. Sockers the ball. All of a sudden it's landed in Pearce's lap. Great effort. Pearce, they can do no wrong, the Eagles. Pesh over the top. Dutchy Holland, he needs to think quick now. Decision needs to be made. He gets around his player, he backs himself. He's done that a couple of times this afternoon. Lays it out.
Oh,
where's Matty Kluzak? He's out. What a kick.
Beautiful.
We've been a little bit critical this afternoon of Dutchy Holland, but that kick there was beautiful.
I haven't been.
No, I don't think we can criticise that. He's just got some confidence. He's running with the ball, and the foot skills there. Fantastic kick.
Yeah, Mark, why have you criticised Dutchy Holland?
Oh, Matthew Kluzak. Another goal to the Eagles. They move on to 11-12. They're 78. The Redlegs will need something to happen, and it has to happen now. 4-5-29, and that's Kluzak's first.
Yeah, you're looking for something from the... Oh, here is the run again from Holland. He's done this a couple of times today, just tucked the ball. I thought he might have run a fair way, but then just eyes up.
Excellent. As I was saying, previous two times in that second quarter, he went forward, backed himself, did the hard work, did the good stuff, but then turned the football over with a poor kick. That time he found Matthew Kluzak
and found him beautifully. 11-12 plays 4-5. Keating, who's starting to find range in ruck, thumps it down, but Cunningham just missed it. Well, comprehensively, frankly. It was right down his throat, Michael.
Yeah, pretty tight and difficult in there in the centre bounces, but when you see a ruckman get a clear hand to the ball, you really do like to see it going somewhere where somebody is at rather than straight to an opposition.
12.5 minutes into the third term. This time it's Cunningham. The kick just goes high. Under it, Rogers. Pesh fights hard for it. First game back this year for Pesh from injury, and Cunningham reps him up.
Oh, come on. Sorry, David, to interrupt you, but this decision that they've brought in this year, the SANFL, I mean, that situation there, look at the Glad. He's been held by 2-3. What's he supposed to throw the football away? The only player going, you've got to respect the player. He needs to have some rights, and that was a stupid decision. Get rid of it now before it ruins this game of football. The AFL, well, they killed that game, don't kill ours. Goes forward again, I've had my say. That's it for the afternoon.
Fair enough. Floriani, Colville. A torpedo, no less, into the forward line. Fleming destroys, thumps it down over the top of it. Crouch couldn't get clear, holding the ball in the area and doing a pretty good job in the final analysis. Was Crouch. As umpire Slavin picks the ball up, he'll have a bounce and set them up again. Keating opposed to Manfield. Keating's getting his hand to the ball. Getting it away was James. Fleming over the top, and Dillon. Well, it's just not working at the moment for the Redlegs. They're playing wide. When they looked so much better in the second quarter for a short while where they were playing the corridor, they do seem to be playing it wide again, and they're paying a price at Adelaide Oval. 51 metres out. Dillon will look for a lead, or will he go for the goals? He is a penetrating kick, and going for distance, he sprayed it off to the right. Sitting underneath it was Chris Kluzak. At the back, it's Matthew. Claimed by Obst. He gets away the handball. Into space, it falls. Pesh, one step sideways, straightens up, goes goal. Good night. Pesh gets his first. The Eagles get their 12. They're 12-12. Norwood a 4-5 on ABC Football.
Not sure who it was that gave the handball. I think it might have been Kluzak. Was under pressure. Matthew Kluzak. Just watch him as we go through the replay. Just get his hands free. So there he is. Just gets the ball out. Pesh again. First game for the year. One step. Good finish.
Gee, I've been impressed with the sides today, Dave. I know you're an old Eagle man, but you must be impressed with their commitment at both the player and putting the hard work on the play with the football, but also their offensive side has been outstanding. Back in, Keating hands the ball. James down quickly, left leg goes up forward again. Sanford. Well, Fruin is on top of him now. What's happening here? The umpire is paying the free kick a little bit too high there on Sanford. Sanford quickly gets the ball moving. Back to James. James, he needs to get involved in this game. It's high. It's out in front. And the mark is taken by Robert Neal.
Now, we talked about this, didn't we, at half-time? Neal needed to go to a forward pocket. We thought Pascoe might end up as the big foil in the other pocket. The Eagles really would have trouble manning up on a big, a medium and a small in that position. But Neal's gone to a forward pocket, and he is starting to make an impact.
Yes, I think Rocky Roberts had his earpiece in because he's done exactly as we were discussing. Pascoe into the pocket, Sanford out to the centre-half forward. Robert Neal really does need to get this one to get the Norwood legs running.
Kick's on its way. Maybe he just pushed it. No, he hasn't. He's brought it back with the breeze nicely. So it's a goal there to Doreen. Sorry, to Neal. That's his first for the afternoon, and that's the fifth for the Redlegs.
Started the game in the back pocket, spent a little bit of time on the half-back flank, but I really do like to see this guy up in the forward line for the legs. He's hard at the ball. And it's not only when he's got his hand on the ball, but he does supply the pressure on the backman and keeps it in the area, gives him a second chance to get the score.
Well, he's slippery, isn't it? And you look, Tape's being forced to man up on a player much bigger than him. I think Neal's quicker off the mark than Hall. It's an interesting structure that the Redlegs have got going.
The Eagles have had 33 more possessions than what the Redlegs have so far in this game.
At the bounce, it's Pesh. Crashing through, Obst. Kemp around the corner. Cotton couldn't quite get there. Beveridge, who's been high amongst the Eagles' best today, done everything asked of him out of the pivot and delivers it on the left foot to Floriani, who's having a good day playing off the wing. A high ball towards half forward. Who's under it? Bowman couldn't get there. Fleming, who's doing very well for the Redlegs, doing everything. Dillon turns it around the corner, points it towards the goals, but right on the line it's Bassett. And doesn't he look more comfortable in defence?
Most definitely. He likes the ball coming towards him. He's a good player. He hasn't been beaten today, I don't think.
Keating and Beveridge. Beveridge
is strong.
He's strong. That's all I'll say. He's a very underrated player. He's come from Hobart
against Port. We saw him. He's got a mean streak in him too.
Oh, he has. He's very impressive this afternoon. And the kick is beautiful. Gives his forwards a chance to jump at it. One goes up, two down. Nearly socked the ground there by Christopher Kluzak. His brother Matthew also tried to break through. It's up over the top again. Another Norwood player down. Going down this afternoon. Obst, quick hands inboard. Out wide, looked like it was Kemp. Comes up, good mark by Cotton in front. He's paid.
They're playing with a bit more passion now, the Redlegs, aren't they?
Well, they can see this game slowly slipping away. They need to keep up there. At the moment, the Eagles have done very, very well. Comes back, three is Doreen. Heads up forward, Sanford's up there. Couldn't take it, good work. Looks like over the top was Fruin. Just lays it out to Rogers. Rogers, good to see him back on the field. Puts it out to Holland. Holland inboard, 24 is Newitt. Gives it off to Pesh. Pesh straightens the body, heads towards Christopher Kluzak. Oh, good work from behind by Fleming. They had the numbers. Handball again to Kemp. Kemp, well, he misses something. He should have taken that one and got on with it. but has enough time to be able to take the football, looks for Keating.
Oh!
Just sent, the big captain came flying through. The umpire nearly played holding the ball. Again, they go forward. Where's the big fella? And Pascoe couldn't take it. Over the top, we see
give it.
gives it, he does. Eventually, David called for it. It wasn't there. Pearce goes back, handballs out towards the boundary line. He tries to find it. They're in there again. Through it. He needs support. Can see the player out wide. He does. 47 coming through is Gallagher. He goes out wider. Good work by the Eagles defence.
Well, Borlase should hang his head because he had Sanford running the open goal. And you do have to honour a player who's worked hard to get into position.
No, it's very poor. Poor decision early, then a skill error. Then he had a chance to soccer it off the ground. 10 seconds of football that Scotty Borlase doesn't want to see again.
I don't think you'll ever see skill errors like the Redlegs have made today.
They've been under a lot of pressure, David. Just the tackling and the ferociousness at the body of this Eagles side really does put the pressure on and put those skills under pressure.
See, it was their forte just a couple of weeks ago at Norwood Oval. Rogers, who steers the ship in defence for the Eagles, the skipper, to Floriani, who's just played that wide kick all day and has really set up plenty of Eagle attacks. 16 kicks for Floriani. He's having a day out. To Holland, who's playing well. To Tape, really, who's had a ball on the string in the air. Now running off Pascoe deep in defence. Bigland flicks it out.
What's he doing?
Well, it was the look-away handball.
David, my 6-foot theory.
I think you're probably right in that instance, Mark, as Bowman has already copped a heavy knock early in the game. Oh, that's a free if you're not careful. Kemp, what's going on? Well, the umpire's just, I don't know what's happened there. Well, he gave him 50 for acting. Well, give him an Academy Award. Well, it's hotting up out there. The Redlegs are starting to play with some emotion and passion. We haven't seen that for much of the day. I promise you the final quarter will be interesting. Eagles throw everything at the Redlegs on the ABC match of the day at Adelaide Oval as Floriani flicks it out to Tape. Grubbers one along the line. Bowman drifts back, but it's across the line. We've played just on 21 minutes. And the Redlegs have got a 50-point deficit. Are they good enough to play catch-up football?
You can just feel that they know what's on. It's just the level of intensity of the Redleg team starting to build. If they're going to get back into it, they really do have to get a couple of quick scores on the board. But this is all chance for the Eagles.
Oh, Beveridge again was good. Eagles have the numbers up forward again. Redlegs coming in hard, trying to get it out of that area. Good handball to the ground, sets up Floriani. Can Floriani bang it home? I think he has. Johnny Floriani. First major of the afternoon. 13-12-90. Norwood 5-5, 35.
He's been a good player all day, John Floriani, but he really has come right into his own over the last 10 or 15 minutes, supplying the option coming out of the back line. He's got great aerobic capacity, and in this case, worked his way forward, got the chance, and a good finish again.
Oh, good. The Eagles, they've kicked away. That's a great, just a little big job. They're going to win this. 55 points down. Maybe just beyond Norwood, but they're a good side, the Redlegs. Stay tuned for a good last quarter. Go for it again. It's a chance for Norwood. Doreen tried to set up Neil. Neil going back, takes a good mark.
It's going to be hard for John Hall to control this man. He's just a little bit too quick as Robert Neal for the fullback in Hall, and this is his second opportunity to goal in a short space of time.
So Robert Neal kicked the last goal for the Redlegs. At age 25, still got plenty of football left in him. He puts it on its way as he pushed it across. He may have, he has. So another behind to the Redlegs. They move on to 5-6-36. Chills trailed the Eagles on 13-12-90.
It's those scoring shots that are really starting to tell the story of the day. 25 scoring shots to 11. And the Norwood football team really have struggled across their half-forward line. And the quality of the entries going into the full-forward line.
Well, Steve Hall sets up Rogers. Rogers goes back to Tape. Tape needs to come in board. He does that. They straighten up to Pearce. Pearce takes the mark, gets back. He's got players out wide if he wishes to use them. Beveridge has been good this afternoon. Goes out wider still to Holland. Holland will be taken by Cotton. Oh, the ball's sitting beautifully for Holland. Throws it out over the boundary line. The umpire's in quickly. Puts two arms in the air. Well, update, we see Port and Southwell. The Port Adelaide Magpies are by 14 points. We see at Prospect, West by 8 points. And Centrals against Glenelg down at Brighton Road. Centrals by 16 points. Beveridge in hard as he applied the bump. The boot made contact with the footballs out of bounds on the full. So maybe a couple of upsets out there this afternoon. I know there's still a quarter of football to go, but my tipping doesn't look too good. Again, Gallagher gives it down. On and off the field this afternoon has been Newitt. Hasn't really had a great deal of field time. Oh, again, Dillon hard at the football. Comes up to Cotton. The handball comes back again. Norwood go forward. Where's Pascoe? The big frame's up there. Couldn't take it. Coming across with SANFL. A chance here for the Redlegs. Looks like Crouch. He's pushed out. The Eagles again. The defence has been outstanding. Ends up with Fruin. Fruin comes across to Rogers. Now he could take this, have afternoon tea and scones. They still have time to kick the football. Comes over the tape. Good combination there. Allows Pearce to bring it back in board to Beveridge. Beveridge straightens the body. Looks down the line. It's out wide. The mark taken by Dillon. He's got space and time. He can go over the top. He doesn't to Newitt. Comes back inside. Where's Christopher Kluzak? Couldn't take it. The ball bounces again for Floriani. He just needs to get around and set it up. Two Norwood players down over the top. The Eagles again have the numbers. They just can't get the ball to hit the body. Comes back to Pearce. Pearce chips it up. Sets up Biglands.
Biglands has been pretty good today, Mark. He's dominated, but to be fair to Keating, he really has found his hand on the ball in the ruck contest, but Biglands has been devastating around the ground.
Well, Biglands, he's had a good pre-season, AFL pre-season. As we see him put it on its way, I think he may have dragged this one slightly. He has. So behind to the Eagles. They now move on to 13-30-91. Norwood still on 5-6-36.
Now, Mark, if you're a Red Leg fan, you'll enjoy the comments of the final quarter of Anthony Harvey, who's the Red Leg skipper, out with a shoulder injury, a dislocated shoulder. He joined us in commentary now. Anthony, I guess the boys will be pretty disappointed with this performance so far.
Yeah, they are, David. It's been a very bad day for us so far.
Stay with us through at three-quarter time as we talk more at length with Anthony Harvey as the Red Legs switch play. Bassett didn't particularly do well, Anthony, in the first quarter at centre-half forward, but seems much more at home in defence.
Yeah, I think there was a few too many tolls up there, and they sort of got in each other's way a bit up forward.
Bowman releases James. The handball comes on to Cunningham. Now they're starting to run the Redlegs. This is their game. Doreen from defence drives it deep into the forward line, but they haven't hit their target all day as their forwards are in position. Pascoe took front position. The kick was poor, and Tate switches the direction of play to Gallagher on the outer side. Looks for an option, holds the ball. It's a well-drilled Eagle outfit. They hold the ball till they can find a target. Obst and fighting it out Beveridge. Beveridge responds. Beautifully done. Obst is not happy. Kick comes in short.
Two players loose.
Well, look at this Newitt. Short over the top, and Dillon, who's kicked 3 goals. Well, Doreen was running down, and his kick missed the target at one end, and he's caught out on the return play. So Dillon with 3 goals won was probably the spark that ignited the Eagles in the first quarter, along with Ugrinik, who it appears has gone off with a hamstring strain. And if you've just joined us, Jason Dillon kicked 3 goals in the first term and 1 point this quarter, to be 3 goals won late in the third term and make that 4, because that one is dead straight.
Yeah, great build-up again by the Eagles on that outer side. Beveridge has had the number. We'll love to see the way they're playing this afternoon. Great passion. They really have. It's been a little bit too quick for the Redlegs this afternoon.
As we talked to Anthony Harvey, the Red Leg skipper who joins us in commentary, he's a pretty difficult player, Dillon, to stop when he's in full flight, Anthony.
Yeah, they've got a lot of players like Dillon who are very quick and hard to catch, so they've caused us many problems today.
I guess you would have thought coming into this match that your runners would have been the match for theirs.
Oh, we thought so. We've got some really good runners, but they've made our runners look second-rate today, I think.
So 14-13 plays 5 goals, 6, a rout for the Eagles as they seize a second spot on the ladder and take it away from the Redlegs. Cunningham just second bites at Pearce over the top of it, fighting hard, and Keating working very hard, the big fellow in ruck for the Redlegs. Pascoe's in the forward line, and Yerbury, if you've just joined us, was a late exclusion from this side. Not fit, but named.
Bounce down again, the middle of the ground. Keating again tried to take it. Manfield's been moved into ruck. Dutchy Holland's there over the top of the football. The umpire will pay a free kick if he doesn't knock it out. He does eventually. Back to Rogers. Rogers, quick kick forward. Great courage by Pearce. Back to Keating. Keating comes to Kemp. Kemp needs support. He goes alone. He's got the lead on. Up forward by Neil. Goes over the top of him again. Tape. He's been good. Handball's over the top. Hall needs it for the City. Doesn't. Again, the overlap by Beveridge gives him support. Back to Tape. Tape props. Drops the football, then sockers it forward. They come inside Beveridge. Handballs across the Hall. Hall needs to throw the ball on the boot. He does on this occasion. Comes up. Where's Dillon? It goes through Keating. Does look tired. Does Aaron Keating. Colville overruns the football. Comes back to Clements. Clements needs to go over the top. He does the crouch. Crouch throws it onto the football. Rogers is there with ball ace. Just enough to push him under the football. Takes a good mark.
Holland releases Pesh. Wider still is Pearce. Comes inboard. Bourlaise ran down beautifully. Good discipline. Did it pretty well. Cotton couldn't get clear. Holland does. Streaking away the defender. Delivers the ball towards centre half forward into the hole. It goes to Biglands, and Biglands has got it. Well, the big man is dominating. And Anthony, I guess when you've got a fellow like Biglands in this sort of form, you know that Keating is underdone. He was always going to be hard to stop today, Biglands.
Yeah, all credit to Aaron, though. I think he's done a great job for us. We lost Yerbury and Bound before the game, so at late notice he's come in and done a pretty good job for us, I think.
So Biglands, who has one goal in this match, lines up for his second. He's kicked truly, so he's got 2 goals for the game. As the Eagles step away, they're 15 goals, 13, and Norwood are 5 goals, 6. Mark, you've got to say that almost 11 and a bit goals ahead, the Eagles look like they'll run away with this match.
Yes, well, Norwood are a quality side. We said before the start of the game, these two sides, along with the Magpies, are my early favourites for this year, or to play in this year's grand final. And we've seen a very professional outfit this afternoon. The Eagles really take charge of this game. We just thought, when Norwood started so well, applied the pressure, but the Eagles, just their smalling running play, their midfield players, the names of Beveridge and Colville, also Pearce, across the half-back line with Fruin and Jamie Tape on the last line have been outstanding. But up forward also, they've had marking strength, or players just giving a contest. But David, the game's not over. I know it's 11 goals, but I tell you, the Redlegs need to get started pretty quickly in this last quarter. So three-quarter time sees the scores here. The Eagles 15 goals, 13, 103. The Redlegs, well, they're 5-6, 36. And you're at home watching the action live and exclusive to ABC Sport.
67 points the margin here at Adelaide Oval, and what a cracking game it's been. If you've been with us throughout the first half, it was an electrifying pace, and the Eagles really are grinding away at the Redlegs in that third quarter. But you suspect that the Redlegs will come home with the breeze in the fourth quarter and make something of a game with it. Stay with us until 5 o'clock. I think you'll enjoy the final term in this match. As injured Redleg skipper Anthony Harvey joins us with a dislocated shoulder and out for how many weeks, Anthony?
At this stage, it looks like about 8, David.
Not good news, particularly today when I guess your season was partially on the line here. You've come out wonderfully. You've won your opening 2 games. You look like you're playing an attacking brand of football. You needed to come to Adelaide Oval today and really turn it on.
Yeah, we really targeted this game as one of our bigger games for the season, and it's very disappointing in our efforts so far. So just hopefully we can take some solace out of the last quarter.
Neville Roberts seems to have, in the opening weeks when we saw you were playing pretty well, changed your game plan. It's been very attacking football and it's worked for you.
Yeah, we've concentrated on being able to back yourself in and back your own ability, and just to be able to control your opponent as well. So it's worked for us in the first 2 games, but today we've strayed away from that.
You mentioned Yerbury out before this match, and also Stuart Bound, who Bound I believe has a kidney complaint.
I think it's more back related. I think he just sort of is a bit stiff and very sore, so I think he'll just miss 1 week.
I guess those 2 big blokes really meant you came into this match a little unbalanced.
We did. They've given us a lot of big man power the last 2 weeks. So, and to bring Keating in, very underdone. He's played 1 game in the reserves for first game in nearly 2 years. So, so we've been undermanned in that area. And
how are the boys enjoying Neville Roberts as the new coach?
We've taken Neville aboard with our arms open, and he's been fantastic, and he's just so positive, and the boys have really taken to him very well.
First tough day at the office for him today. As we go to the three-quarter time scoreboard here at Adelaide Oval, it shows the Eagles lead 15 goals 13. They were 4-8 to 2-1 at quarter time and ahead by 19 points. They extended that to 36 points at half time, and at three-quarter time they lead by 67 points, 15-13 to 5 goals 6. Anthony, goal kickers for the Eagles, you've got to suggest that Dylan, who's kicked 3 in the first and 1 in the third, has been the most damaging.
Yeah, he has. He's very hard to stop on a lead, and the way the ball's been delivered into him at the moment, it's given Fleming a very hard time.
What about your forward setup? Doreen started the game as a defender, but went forward and, is playing as a defender, kicking goals. Neil started as a defender, goes forward. Scripps has been taken off. Clements is a half-back flanker, and Carslake's on the bench. So really, you're not getting your goals from your regular forwards.
No, having Bown out as well has sort of thrown things around, and our forward setup wasn't working at all in the first half, so we had to try something. Now
tell us about the stats in this match. If you have a look at the kicked marks and handballs situation, the Eagles seem to have a lot more kicks and a lot more handballs. They're throwing the ball around a lot more.
Yeah, they are. It just shows you that they've worked a lot harder than our blokes, and we've turned over the ball a lot more than they have.
As we go down now to Michael Parsons and the huddles.
Yes. Paul Hamilton, a little bit more animated than the coach of the Eagles last year in Mark Micken. Really, he's very pleased with what's going on. And his basic message has been, really, don't let a good team like Norwood off the hook. When you get them into this position, keep running, keep working, and make them really pay for the mistakes that they're making. You'll probably see them switch play. Paul, as far as the game plan was, to switch play, run it out of the half-back line, and continue with the forward structure that we've all been so impressed with as this game's unfolded. Neville Roberts, obviously very disappointed with what's happened so far. Really, he says, it's about pride now, fellas. Let's forget about the scoreboard. Let's just get back to our game plan and do the things that we want to do. I think he wants them to go short, control the ball, but just start to work a lot harder, as Anthony's just said. Just run a lot further and see if they can get their game back on track as the rest of the game unfolds, David.
Good day, thanks, Michael, for that. One of the interesting ploys, I thought, today, the Redlegs wouldn't have expected John Floriani to be playing on a wing for the Eagles, and 16 kicks, 6 handballs and a goal makes him today a very damaging player off a wing. Yeah,
we wouldn't have expected him to line up there, but he's been fantastic for the Eagles, along with a lot of their unballers. They've just outrun us.
We've already, of course, discussed Biglands. He's been pretty good, but it's not too often you get a couple of goals out of a key ruckman who's roaming around the ground. Yeah,
he's very versatile. They can be thrown up forward and take a big mark and kick a goal for you. So it's a good asset to have.
Well, you watch here, he reads it pretty well too, because Floriani just turns it round, ball comes through, and Kluzak spins it out. Floriani again just delivers it up as we go down now to Michael Parsons.
Yes, and with me the new coach of the Eagles, Paul Hamilton. Paul, what's the thing that's pleased you most about today so far?
Look, been very happy with just the running, the persistence, and we've put a fair bit of pressure on them, which is that's been pleasing. It's an area we're working on, obviously, and but our run and our teamwork's been good. We started fiddling around a little bit that quarter, so we know that's the danger when a team gets a few goals in front. So we're pretty keen to cut that out of our game this quarter. So hopefully that'll happen.
And from the commentary box, we've been pretty pleased with the forward setup you've got there. It's working well.
Yeah, look, that's working well, and they're working hard, and I suppose there was a goal there to Floriani in that quarter, and that came about through just hassling and pressure from our forward line. They're a good marking, fluent forward structure, but at the same time, if they're going to put the pressure on them, then they'll be even better.
Paul, thanks for taking the time to talk with us. Thanks.
So thank you to Paul Hamilton and the Eagles for that, as umpire Slavin holds the ball aloft for the start of the final term. Your commentator is Mark Naley.
Well, big margin by the Eagles. We see the first touch to Biglands. He goes out wide with the kick. First there should be, and it is taken by Crouch. He handballs over the top. Norwood go through Cunningham, puts it out in front of Neil. Can he get there? He can't quite, but well taken by Fleming. Fleming turns and kicks and hits the post. So Dale Fleming started the day at fullback, kicking the football in all of a sudden now in the last quarter is having shots for goal. So desperate measures by a desperate coach this afternoon, just trying to create something. As we see the ball hitting the post there. So Holland brings the ball back in. Takes off running, gives it across to Tape. Tape, an outstanding afternoon, comes up with his 26th possession. He's already had 11 marks. A great day out for Jamie Tape out of a back pocket. Handball's inside. 38 is Gallagher. Gives it across. Doreen looks for support. Play down Fruin on the wing. Doesn't look good. He's holding his knee. I hope it's not too bad. Colville taps it out towards the boundary line. Trying to find Gallagher. Couldn't. Ball aces there. The stretcher is out. It does not look good for Fruin. Handball's inside. Will stay with the play. Back to Crouch. Crouch unloads from 50. Couldn't quite find the big uprights and threw for another behind. Well, the umpires hold the play out. They might. The stretcher's come out, David. Brett, I didn't quite see the incident. Here it is here. He's taken up front. The way he lands.
Oh, he knew.
No,
He straight away.
His left leg was the one that's damaged. Oh, it's not a good sign. He's been in very good form in the 3 games so far this season.
Well, that is not good news for Eagles fans as Fruin goes for the stretcher. I guess one of the key points for the Eagles is who is able to play the position. Do they bring Crowell on and park him there?
Well, they've got Rogers also, who's played a fair bit of football at centre half back.
Or Tape?
Or Jamie Tape, but Tape is coming off at the moment. He was running across to Fruin. Just to give him a little bit of support. That's good to see. But it didn't look good. He's in a fair bit of pain there. There's Brent Fruin. The medical staff around him. So we'll just have to wait and see. Christopher Kluzak's come down, or Jason Dillon's come down.
And if you've just
Gavin
joined
Colville's coming across.
Sorry, Marcus, if you've just joined us, Anthony Harvey, the Redlegs skipper, is joining us for the final quarter in commentary as a special comments man. And Anthony, when you're in a position like this and your teammate goes down, what's the view of the players on the field?
Oh, it's one of shock at first, and you just hope it's not one of your players. But unfortunately for the Eagles, they've had a great day, but this puts a bit of a damper on.
It looked like it was though knees made contact there. We can see. Took it on. It mightn't be as bad as. Oh, God, he's gone down screaming, hasn't he?
He knew before he even hit the ground.
Not good.
From down here at ground level, fellas, that leg has not moved, so something seriously wrong with it there, I would have thought. But it's going to be David Neiman that's going to come on and replace Brett Fruin.
Fair enough.
May have dislocated.
Well, Anthony,
possibility.
Tell us about your dislocated shoulder. How did it happen, and when are we likely to see you back?
It was a bit of a freak accident, I think, that got me. My arm went under my body and popped out. So I had an arthroscope during the week, and it looks like about 8 weeks at this stage.
Are you still able to do running, or not for a while yet?
Not for about 3 or 4 weeks. So I'm in a sling for probably 3 weeks, and I'll take it from there.
Fair enough. As Fruin leaves the field for the Eagles, we just hope that he's okay, and we fear the worst, unfortunately, when a player leaves the field like that.
He's going straight down to the room. We may get our boundary rider down there and Michael Parsons. And the doctor does come back to give us an update of the condition of Brent Fruin. We're back with the action here. 15-13, 103. Great afternoon for the Eagles supporters. Norwood supporters well, 5-8. Only 5 majors this afternoon, 38. They'll trail by a big margin.
And 3 other matches around town today. It's Port Adelaide by just 2 points over South as Greg Anderson returned to Albertson. North by 17 points. West Adelaide on the bottom of the ladder in a hole, and Central by 9 points over Glenelg. That game's still marking the balance.
It is, comes down. Quick hands inboard. Back to Cotton from Cunningham. Cotton kicks up. Good use of the body by Fleming. Couldn't quite take the mate. Ball aces in there, but also is Pesh. Peff unleashes the handball. Across to Matthew Kluzak. It's a high. You can't take a great strength from behind. The kick wasn't good. Back to Kluzak once again. He has player out wide and finds him. Gavin Colville just wanders off. Looks towards centre half forward. The kick wasn't good, and again Gallagher takes another mark and gets the kick up towards Cunningham. Cunningham has plenty of time, can run inside 50, takes 2 bounces, will go over the top with the handball. This sets the player up, he does. It's going to be through, looks like 17, which is Crowell. Scripps it is, Justin Scripps. Kick 1 in the first quarter, and that's his second.
And Anthony, your Scripps has been a pretty good pickup for you from Glenelg this year.
Yeah, we targeted a forward flanker that can kick a lot of goals for us, and he's certainly done the job there for us so far this season.
I guess you picked up Jared Cotton last year for a similar role, but he seems to be playing more a ruck-roving midfield role.
Yeah, he had a lot of knee problems and driver problems last year, and he's seemed to be over that this year, and he's a lot fitter, so we've used him a lot more on the ball. I guess you're going to have some options around the half-forward line this year at the Redlegs. 15-13, plays 6 goals, 8. This game not really in the balance. The Eagles have taken complete control, but the Redlegs are putting up a fight as Beveridge from the middle goes towards Colville, and he marks right on the 50-metre line. Now, his best kick will make the distance. You can see just the way he attacks his footy. He'll kick from about 65 out. He'll put it just out to the point of the square. Bassett from behind thumps it. Cunningham rows it. Darzanos grapples with him, and the ball is held in. The umpire will have a bounce. Andrew Beveridge, fellas, 18 kicks, 13 handballs. Would he be best on ground, Anthony, in your view? Oh, in my book he is.
I think he set it up, didn't he?
Had 14 possessions in that third quarter, and also with that he's had 12 marks, so a bit hard to go past him. Maybe Jamie Tape also with 26 possessions from a back pocket. Fair effort.
I'd like to be interested in how Holland has gone today, because he's found plenty of the ball too.
Again, Scripps gives a handball across to Gallagher. Goes back to Crash, but the umpire has paid the decision against the Norwood player, and Justin Scripps indicating through the football. Free kick to chip out wide again. Loose players inside 50. 24 is Newitt. Gives the ball across to Dan Zanos. Handball's inboard. Number 3 coming through is Matthew Manfield. Brings up his second for the afternoon. So a good reply to the Eagles. They're 16-13 now. 109. Norwood on 6-8-44.
And Anthony, you just look at the way the Eagles flick the ball around. That is very hard to combat. They've hit the target today with pinpoint accuracy. Your guys have missed a lot of times.
Yeah, we've turned over the ball far too much today, and we haven't been able to put the pressure on the Eagles, whereas they've, all credit to them, they've put a lot of pressure on us and forced us to turn the ball over.
So 16-13 to 6 goals, 8. Who would have thought that coming in? Made a mockery of the tipping competition, because the Redlegs came into this match, you'd suspect favourites, but the Eagles are showing some great form. Floriani, who's played a bottler off his wing, high amongst the Eagles, best, no question about that, but stolen away by Kemp. A bounce and a high bomb towards the full forward line, and that's the way the balls come in for most of the day into the Redleg forward zone, and their forwards really have been slaughtered. Taped towards the boundary line. I think he's quite content to see it finish there. Well, how do you assess Jamie Tape as a player, Anthony?
Oh, he just reads the play so well from back there. He'll back himself to leave his opponent and attack the footy, and that's what all good backmen do. He plays pretty tall, he takes a good mark, and he's good at the ground level.
Good. Ball's down once again. Coming through is Doreen. Again, we see the ball through James. Couldn't quite get his boot to it. Rogers, the captain for the Eagles, dives over the top of the football. It's still loose. A soccer off the ground there. Looked like it was coming from ball ace. Just couldn't quite connect either. So a bit of pressure still been applied by both sides in this last quarter.
Floriani, we're 9 minutes into the final term. The Eagles doing it pretty well. And if you're wondering where we're going next week for our ABC game of the day, it's Sturt and Port from Unley Oval. I think you'll enjoy that one. A few people just looking ahead in the fixture, wondering when those teams would meet. As Pesh, first game back and just feeling his way to Rogers, who spent some time off the ground with a leg injury during the third term, but has come back to lead his side to a very strong victory over the Redlegs. At 35 years of age, the second oldest player in the competition, and still going strong. A high ball, Bowman missed it, Biglands misses it, Dillon dragged off the ball, play on, said the umpire. Manfield misses it, but finally it's Kemp. Tries to relieve some pressure with a handball forward. James, who's been inexplicably loose today, he's missed probably 4 or 5 balls when he normally takes them so cleanly. To Crouch, who started on the bench and has tried to make an impact since coming on. Forward, Neal, high handball, Doreen takes it, tries to break, but gang tackled. Matthew Kluzik got him, and Tape, the other Eagle player.
Well, Anthony, we spoke about a few of the Eagles players this afternoon who have been outstanding, but for Norwood, well, a few of their better players.
Well, it's hard to say. We haven't had a lot of good players yet that I can see, so hopefully we can take something out of this last quarter and get a few late goals.
We might go down the boundary line with Michael Parsons.
Yes, just been down in the room where the doctor's having a look at Brett Thorne's knee, just describing it as an impact. So as that wears off, it might not be as bad as we first thought, but in a fair amount of pain at the moment. doctors yet to make a diagnosis.
I guess, Mark, you don't know till they cool down tomorrow morning how bad they are. Let's hope it's not so bad for the Eagles and Fruin.
Well, as I said, he's been in very good form, very good this afternoon. Had a couple of opponents. As we see Norwood again, they need to get the ball forward. Got to keep trying as long as they can. Back, 30 coming through. This Carslake kicks up forward again, pushed under the football again was nil. Umpire just hides that whistle. Back to Rogers. Again, couldn't see a player free by himself. Gallagher was there. Decided to go for the safety of the boundary line. So another interchange being made. Last week, Anthony Scotty Borlase was, I went to the game, he was very, very good form.
He was fantastic last
This
week.
afternoon been fairly quiet.
It's same, the old story about playing. I thought he'd, you know, just take that next step, and it's always harder to follow up the next week.
What about Ben Wilson, who spent most of this second half on the interchange bench after starring at full forward the first couple of weeks?
Yeah, he's got a foot problem. I think it's flared up a bit today, so hopefully it's not too bad.
So rest him and get him ready for next week.
Hopefully.
As Biglands marks, comes in board. Carslake misses that one. Over the top of it, Newitt couldn't quite get there. Chris Kluzak, Godden, who's battled hard in defence for the Redlegs all day, to James, who hasn't played at his usual high standard, to Sanford, who's just tried to give them something since coming out to centre half forward. And a wobbly old kick, no man's land kick. They're just not hitting the target, Anthony.
We haven't hit it all day, David. Our skills have been down, our run's been down, our talk's been down as well. So
I thought your aggression and your tackling have been down as well to put you under pressure.
Yeah, we just haven't been able to place the Eagles under enough pressure to turn the ball over.
Gee, you'd think after a great win last week over the Tigers, which also I regard fairly highly after this last season's performance, you just think that Norwood would have gone on with it today. But again, the Eagles go forward. Gallagher, he just really doing it very easy out there on the outer wing. You can see Cole, he's worked hard to get down there, couldn't quite take the ball. Now he butters up for his second effort, gives the handball across to Christopher Kluzak. He goes to the top of the square. The ball still keeps in. Lockie Bowman takes a bounce. He needs support, goes forward with the handball to Gallagher. It's got a bounce, is it? Pascoe keeps it in. The big fella pushed out over the line there by Manfield. So nothing's going right for the boys in the red and blue jumpers.
Pascoe just coming on the ground to replace a very tired Aaron Keating.
Oh yeah, Aaron's been worked really hard. He's very unfit. He's pre-season's been limited, but he's worked very hard for us today. So
he did a pre-season with St Kilda.
Yeah, then he went back overseas for a couple of months, so he only come back in late February.
And he's had his tendon in his thumb pin, so I guess he's behind in his ball work as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Bowman has the handball intercepted by Pesh. Neiman fights hard for it. Now it's Kluzak and Bassett. What's this? The umpire holding the ball. So Kluzak, who's already kicked, what's he kicked, fellas? 2 goals already in this match. 2 goals, 2. And he gets a chance dead in front for a third.
Bring back Gary McIntosh.
Well, you heard that. There's some Norwood fan right by our sound effects, Mike.
Well,
Said,
Gary's
"Bring back
down
Gary
coaching
McIntosh."
his first game of league football in Tasmania, I think, this weekend. So all the best to Gary.
As Kluzak gets his third goal, and the Eagles go to 17-13. The Redlegs are 6-9 on ABC Sport. Anthony Harvey, our special guest commentator. Lamentable. We thought when we invited you today that it might be a happy day for you, Anth, but I don't think it gets any worse than this.
I haven't been involved in such a drubbing for quite a while at Norwood, and it's very uncharacteristic from our
Remember,
blokes.
Port Adelaide one Easter gave you an absolute belting out here. I think you returned the favour, or you gave them one before that.
Yeah, I think the Adelaide Oval seems to bring out a one-sided affair in our game either way.
So a very dejected-looking coach there in Neville Roberts. Can't work out after the form's been so good this year. Opened up the win over West Adelaide, butter up against the Tigers. Beat them today. We really haven't given anything. No signs. But it's a long season of football. And they'll bounce back. Amble inside. Kent. Where's the support? He goes it alone. He's got 2 or 3 players. Well, that's been the story of the Redlegs this afternoon. He's kept in by Crouch. Now, Crouch has play running inside in Cotton. Cotton gives the handball to Carslake. Carslake can go out wide. He does. He straightens the body. Looks up forward for Fleming. Fleming comes out hard. Couldn't take the mark. In there again was Borlase. He's got players inside. Pops it to the top of the square. Bit of pushing there. Mark taken by Scripps. Well, from behind.
It's
Just use the hands.
Yeah, that's just what you need, Anthony, isn't it? A half-forward flanker who chips in and kicks 2 or 3 goals a game, and that's all he needs to do.
Oh, that's what he's there for. His job is to kick goals for us, and that's why we picked him up.
Like he last couple of years with Glenelg, Mark, what did he kick? A little over 30 goals, mid-30s, but not last year. I think he was under 20 last year, and Glenelg, I don't know, perhaps couldn't retain him.
Well, he seemed to enjoy his football this season. Looks different, as we said, in the Norwood jumper. It's the goal we'll wait adjust. The 2 fingers go up. That's his third for the afternoon to Justin Scripps and Norwood. That's their 7th.
What about his effort today? I mean, he spent a fair bit of time on the bench. Neville was not happy with some aspects of his game, but he comes back on, kicks you a couple of goals, and he can do that. Yeah,
it's good to see him get a couple late. I think he was down a bit earlier, so hopefully he can take some confidence out of this and take it into next week.
Well, it is hard playing a half-forward flank when you're just getting beaten in ruck and the midfield.
Yeah, and I think we haven't had great targets to kick to up forward. We've been a bit stagnant, and our crummers haven't been there either.
So 17-13 to 7 goals 9. The Eagles win this round 4 encounter, no question about that, as Pascoe brought back into ruck, thumps it down. Gallagher, who's on the Crows list but playing with the Eagles today, fires it up high. Cotton marks on the outer side. And they're back in the corridor, the Redlegs, so at least you've got to say that their second half has been disciplined. They've knocked Scripps, cleverly done. Doreen, who's kicked 1 from defence, goes for 2. A little push, Fleming, and he's been pinged, notices the umpire. A point will stand, and Taber's not at all happy. They're that far ahead, and he's still fighting for a point.
Jamie Tape, he just has been very good this afternoon. As I mentioned before, Tim Jenner in round 1 has notched his name against this year's favourite for this year's McGarry medal on today's performance. He's made some votes in my books. Hall just comes it out wide to Rogers. Gallagher on the mark. Manfield is pushed up the field. He'll go with Pascoe. Rogers looks one way, then looks the other. Just hangs onto the football. Well, there's no movement at all. We've got some very tired players out there. Manfield now comes forward again. What can he do? He just chips it up. Manfield come to the contest. Pascoe from behind, who I think is yet to have a possession this afternoon, has been very, very quiet and very disappointing. Hasn't spent a great deal of time on the field, but when he hasn't contributed. High ball, Sanford, over the top is Rogers, knocked it down. James over the top, the good kick towards Scripps. Coming across there is Doreen. Can he kick the ball in? He can't. We'll just notice in the last maybe 5 minutes, Anthony, that the game really has slowed down to a walk.
Yeah, I'm just trying to pick a few good players for our blokes. But
have you found any, Anth?
It's pretty tough, but I think Fleming has tried hard all day. Kemp's had a fair bit of the ball, but his possessions haven't been as good as they should be, I think. I think Keating's tried hard in the ruck, but he obviously fitness has shown out in the end where he hasn't been able to see the game through. And Lockie Bowman's tried hard, I thought.
Pascoe goes for goal, and he's kicked it from 51 metres out. He can kick that, the rangy ruckman, and he's put it through for the Redlegs 8th. They're 8-10, trailing the Eagles 17-13 on ABC Sport. We might just finish those best players.
Troy Clements was a bit quiet in the first half, but he tried very hard in the second half, but hasn't had a lot of help. Yeah. Just looking at Andrew, he always promises so much, and a lot of people say he delivers so little. Today he hasn't, but hopefully he can just keep some confidence and stay positive, because he's a valuable player.
I reckon it's the way you use him, though, truly. I honestly reckon in his time with the Redlegs, he struggled to be used for his height and his size and his weight. I think they've lost patience with him too often. They've played him in the middle of winter when they should just leave him on the bench.
Oh, well, he can win a game for us off his boot.
On a dry day.
He's available to kick 10 goals in a game, so it's a tough one to call where you're playing.
Tough work from behind. Bowman never pulls out of a contest. Back to Pesh. Pesh just chips the ball out. Where's the running play? Christopher Kluzak couldn't quite get there. Second effort is good. Handball's back inside. Kluzak up with a third effort. Comes down Gallagher. Pesh again. Dodges and weavers. Did that brilliantly. Lifts the eyes, but the kick wasn't good. Jared Cotton, left leg, thumps it out towards the grandstand side. Back is Scripps. Scripps. Left leg down the line, just leisurely puts it out in front. Oh, good work. Good ground made there by Robert Neal. Takes a mark on his chest. Indicates he wants to go long with the football. Heads out towards big Looks like Pascoe knows Sanford out in front, knocks down. Again, dodges and wheezes. Fleming just puts it out. And a good mark taken, and a goal should be kicked by Doreen. It is. That's his second. That's Norwood's ninth. Well, they really haven't stopped trying this last quarter. I mean, it's good to see. If there's anything, when you're a coach and you're that far behind, just to see your players just continue to do the things that they've been taught to do.
I think the boys are showing a bit of character now, even though we're well and truly out of the game. Just hopefully we can take some positives from it, even though it has been a very dirty day for us.
Well, we shouldn't take anything away from the Eagles. We've dwelled on the Norwood negatives perhaps, but we should perhaps give the Eagles due credit. They've been solid all around the ground. Best players are very difficult to pick, but you'd have to say that Andrew Beveridge out of the middle has probably been their best, but he's perhaps had 6 or 7 mates that wouldn't be too far behind him the way that they've played today, and they've mixed it up pretty well. Darzanos, who started the game on the bench, gives it off to Pesh, who's back from injury and running out the game, which is good news for the Eagles, to Beveridge, best on ground to Colville, who certainly would feature high amongst the Eagles' better players.
Pearce is free. And hits Pearce.
Well, he was free for a long time, Mark, wasn't he? You counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In that time, I guess somebody could run 40 metres to pick him up, Hart.
I'm just trying to figure out who's on him and why not.
I think it might be Cunningham.
Yep, spot on.
But Pearce just thought the ball was going forward fairly quickly, just took off, just left the centre square where Cunningham was and just made some ground.
I've been intrigued today, fellas, with some of the battles. You know, Pearce and Cunningham, they've sort of broken even. Neither a start for either side. This is 27th possession, so perhaps he's got the edge there. He just keeps finding the ball and picking up, but right around the ground today, there were some intriguing matchups.
I think with Pearce, he'll always go to the ball and he gets those little possessions that go unnoticed a lot.
We'll wait now. 25 is Clements.
In other matches around town, it's Port Adelaide by 3 points against South. So that's tight, that match. West by 23 points. They've fought back to overhaul North Adelaide, and Central by 21 points over Glenelg. Well, that's an interesting turn of events.
Well, would you say 3 upsets this afternoon, Anthony?
Oh, it looks like it at this stage.
Ball up forward again. Norwood go forward. Cunningham, the running Cunningham from 45 metres. Unleashes with the football. I think it's another goal to the Redlegs. The flags are waving. And that's their 10th. Well, they've lowered the margin in this last quarter. Johnny Cunningham, well, a great contributor. Had a lot of problems over the year. I think it was a knee reconstruction a couple of seasons ago. Played in that grand final that you won. I think he came back from that reconstruction, wasn't he? Wearing that brace.
His season was a bit limited last year with a few injuries, and he's had a really big pre-season. He's trimmed right down, and he's fitter than he's ever been.
So we're back in the centre. 17-14, 1-16. The Redlegs 10-10, 70. As we wait for the football to come back. So players, most players have got their hands on their thighs at this stage, or on their knees, just taking in a bit of air. Been a perfect afternoon at Adelaide Oval. The bounce down. Bigland's back into ruck up against Pascoe. We see going forward again. Good mark taken. 28 going backward as Godden. Goes out wide to Cunningham. Coming across his Beveridge. Got his hand on the football, but Cunningham was favoured by the bounce. Over the top. Scripps running on with it. Just found a little bit of yard in front of Matthew Kluzak. Comes back onto that favoured left leg and then puts a beautiful ball out in front of Robert Neal. And Neal, who started today, I think, in the back line, so Coach Neville Roberts really has made some changes since that first quarter.
Yes, they've thrown the team around immensely over the 4 quarters, but it's just good to see using the corridor on the V a bit more, just kicking it back into the centre where, as earlier on, we were going too wide.
So Neal from the 50-metre line, the breeze at his back, puts it up in the air, does not move. It doesn't. That's his second for the afternoon. The Redlegs, I think they've just about doubled their score in this last quarter.
They have indeed, and Harvard, at least Neville Roberts would go away from this match knowing that they're versatile. He can ask players to play different positions and they'll respond in a positive fashion.
Yeah, it's one thing that we don't want to do too often, though. We like to have a settled back line, and we don't like to move our backs up forward. So hopefully we can get that settled back line, and hopefully we don't have to make too many changes in the coming weeks.
17-14 to 11 goals, 10. The Eagles are going to run out victors in this match, but the Redlegs are putting up a fight as Pesh gets it out of the centre, getting valuable match time. Carslake Off it goes to Godden, who's been one of the better players in defence. To Gallagher, who started on the interchange bench. A ricochet works in the favour of Bassett, who started at centre-half forward but looks a lot more comfortable in defence. And out it goes to James, who's now finding a bit of the ball. Crouch, double-teaming Beveridge. In comes Krista Kluzak. Claims him, Kemp, handballs it forward. James goes wide. They're being forced wide a fair bit of the time, the Redlegs. And it's Cunningham who goes short now to Doreen. We're 26 minutes gone. 40 points the margin after at 1 point. Oh, Fleming. So very, very good. At one point, it was 67 points. So the Redlegs really have been able to put some respectability on the scoreboard.
I think the Eagles coach in Paul Howard wouldn't be happy. We heard the interview at three-quarter time when he's coming off. They started to layer eyes a little bit late in that third quarter. He wasn't happy, but in this last quarter, they just slowed to a walk.
So Fleming, who played all day in defence, did a pretty good job at full-back. Misses to the left.
Well, it's been supported well this afternoon. The SANFL crowd really have shown their true colours. And it's good. I mean, these two quality sides, the Eagles have, maybe last year wasn't their best season that they've had.
Well, the Eagles were third last year, didn't
they? Yeah, but they had
I thought nobody tipped them at the start of the year to be in the 5. So I think they had a pretty good season all round, and Mark Micken was taken to the Crows on the strength of what he did with the Eagles.
Well, it's good seeing you show your true colours, David, with the Eagles. Can't say a bad word about them. So the free kick here has been paid.
We might start on South Adelaide in a little bit. As Sanford drives the ball towards full forward. Fleming still working hard. Tate claimed. Oh, Fleming did a great job. Fights hard for it. He's still scrapping. James handballs it. Fleming short. Good vision, and underneath this one, it's a mark taken by the man who's already kicked 3 goals in Justin Scripps.
Yeah, again, they're just setting it up. As I said, the Eagles just thought, well, at three-quarter time, I think that's a big enough margin. I think it was 11 goals at something, 67 points, so 11 goals plus. Wasn't enough. Well, the Redlegs just have shown in the last quarter, at least they've battled it out. At least Coach Neville Robertson will go in after this game and think, well, they gave it their best effort this last quarter.
So Scripps, who kicked 1 in the first and 2 in this final quarter, goes goalward bound. He doesn't mind the kick, but it did drift off. Sometimes they just try to con the goal umpire. And 3 goals, 1 for Justin Scripps, the recruit from Glenelg.
There's been a few changes. They've picked up a couple of good players over the last couple of seasons. Sanford was a very strong player for the Roosters. And also Justin Scripps.
What about Damien Obbs?
Played Damien Obbs as well. Came across. So there has been quite a good interchange. We see Tate comes out of the back line, sets it up for Pesh. Pesh gets back.
Just thinking about Troy Clements across from the Eagles as well, so they are half a foreign legion.
Well, they are. It seems to me these days the players, if they're not happy with one club, they can shift quite easily. High ball, under it was Manfield, couldn't quite take it. Lockie Bowman hasn't had one of the best of days, but at least he's battled hard.
Well, his fitness has been suspect. He had a game in the reserves last week purely to get his fitness up. And then they just needed him to get a game under his belt before they could pick him in the senior side, but he certainly will benefit from the work today. Floriani's had a day out. A wonderful game from him. Kluzak misses it, and the ball rebounds. Pearce, inside the 50 square, lifts the eyes and goes long, and well done, Neiman. Stands his ground. Bassett really has had a dirty day, and Neiman, who's already kicked 1 point. A big point, by the way.
We spent a lot of time on the bench this afternoon. They've had a smaller forward structure, even with Kluzak up there, but they have Kluzak and Manfield. They're not tall opponents, but you just noticed today when they just brought Neiman on, we've seen him play some good football up forward. He's also, if Biglands needs a rest, that he can be thrown in the ruck.
Wearing the number 2 jumper, vacated by Michael Filippo, who contemplated retirement but might come back. Neiman gets his first for the afternoon. The Eagles advance their score. It's a very healthy 18-14. The Redlegs are 11-12 on ABC Sport.
Again, the Eagles, they're just a little bit of luck this afternoon has gone their way, but they have created a fair bit. We just see Pearce there. Again, it's good to see players lifting their eyes and going forward. Again, as you said, Neiman up front, just took the front position and kicks true and correct.
David Neiman, 1 goal, 1. 122 plays 78, and we look ahead next week. The Eagles have North Adelaide at Adelaide Oval next Friday night, and the Redlegs face Central at Elizabeth, so a tough task ahead for them. Be an interesting couple of weeks for Neville Roberts as Darzanos goes wide.
We'll see if Centrals get up this afternoon down the bay. That'll be a very good win, so that'll be a good game next week at Elizabeth Oval.
Join us next week as we go to Unley Oval for the match between Port and Sturt. Just a year ago, it would have been a blockbuster. We're worried about Sturt and how they'll recover. Coming off the bye, and Port Adelaide in the form they're in as Dillon turns it around the corner. Crouch drifts back into defence and tries to mount another tack. Forced wide, gets the handball off. Bassett under pressure, goes further still. James flicks it forward. Gallagher on the left, close to the boundary line. And no mark taken. Darzano showing great courage, backing back into the big man in Pascoe and the ball across the line.
Well, the sign's looking good for the Eagles. They've got a few players that are playing AFL football. They need to get them qualified quickly so they can play in the finals with them. But for Norwood, well, there's not that many players. Of quality players I'm talking about. We had one there before to give me some special comments, Anthony Harvey. He's missed this afternoon. But the Eagles, to their credit, they're a very, very good side in season 2000.
Neiman under pressure, couldn't get the handball away. Bassett recovers, flicks out the long handball, under pressure Kemp to Clements, the former Eagle player. Little short one to Carslake, who's worked pretty hard today, hasn't been their worst either. James is finding plenty of the ball in this last quarter. Depeche now knew it and forced it wide. Look at the vision. It's Colville sitting about 25 metres out, not quite directly in front, and he's had a pretty busy afternoon as well.
Well, the clock's just turned over 32 minutes. It's going to be a very long quarter. The fact of Brett Fruin, who's gone off with a knee injury. We're hoping all the best. It's not too serious. That's good. I mean, it's just the way the Eagles, they've done that all afternoon. They've lifted the eyes and looked forward.
20-odd possessions to Colville as he goes towards goal. And that one is missed too. It's 18-15. They've had 33 scoring shots, the Eagles.
Well, Colville started in the middle of the ground, in with the heat. All of a sudden, this last sort of half, Coach Paul Hamilton has had the luxury of being able to put him on the half-forward flank and just take a little bit of pressure off the young fella.
Another matches around town this afternoon. Port Adelaide by 9 points. They might just pip South Adelaide at the post. At North and West scores are level. So West Adelaide aren't winners yet. We almost declared them earlier. And in the other match, Central and Glenelg, I think Central's by 32 points will take out the points from that match.
Ball out wide. Rogers gives the handball inside to Matthew Kluzak. Matthew Kluzak, right leg down the line to Colville. Oh, good work by Crouch. Just put the one arm up. It's stuck. He pulls down a one-hander. So Crouch gets heads up towards that wing. At the back, it's Biglands. He's strong on that with the attack. Spoils down, heads for the boundary line and finds it. So 33.5-minute mark in this fourth quarter. 123 the Eagles. Norwood on 78.
Oh, what about this? I guess the time delay is because Fruin went off on a stretcher. We lost probably 4 minutes at that point. But this is almost 34 minutes. Doreen from half forward squares it up. Fleming takes a big fly from the front. Hall, who's been very good at full-back today, thumps it away. Scripps with 3 goals. Handballs to Neil. And Neil, who spent most of the day as a defender, going forward in the second half, finishes with 3 goals. As the siren sounds mercifully for the Redlegs, they put some respectability on the board. They were 12-12. The Eagles were 18-15. And in the final wash, the Eagles were just too good, too strong and too quick.
Well, if you're an Eagles supporter, you'd be pretty happy with today's performance. As I said before the start of the game, we didn't tip the Eagles. We thought Norwood on paper looked a lot stronger than what they had. But the Eagles today have come out. They've fought very, very hard. One player there in screen, or both those players, both Hall and also Jamie Tate, outstanding games this afternoon, along with a couple of other ones there in the middle. Well, Beveridge, David.
Best on ground?
How good a game was that?
Well, I went through the Eagles' best, and I went with Beveridge, but you had to look at Dillon, Floriani, Tate, Fruin, Holland, Ugrinic and Hall as their better players. Quarter by quarter scores in this match. The Eagles led by 19 points at quarter time, 36 points at half time, 67 points at three-quarter time, and really, in the final analysis, ran out victors by 39 points pretty easily. Goal kickers for the Eagles. Dillon kicked 4 goals. Kluzak 3, Manfield 2, Biglands 2, and for the Redlegs, Neil finished with 3, as did Scripps. Entertaining game. What about the footy tipping, Mark? The WW site, as the stats fly past us, I don't think in the final wash they'll mean a great deal.
Sheer dominance by the Eagles there. Far too many kicks and handballs.
Okay, so we look forward next week. I guess it's Port Adelaide and and stirred it on the oval. You've got to go with Port Adelaide as the red-hot favourites.
Well, it's been a great season. I mean, just today, I reckon there's 3 upsets in today's competition. I just didn't pick half of those sides. I just believe this afternoon. But we see there next week, it's going to be a great encounter.
All right, so we hope you can join us 3 o'clock on ABC Sport next week. 4 o'clock if you're in the Northern Territory. We hope you can join us then because it promises to be a great match. So from Adelaide Oval, it's bye for now.
Five apparatus finals await us as the International Gymnastics Challenge continues at the Sydney Superdome. Hello and welcome. I'm Steve Rebillard for ABC Sport, and it's time for the specialists to take the stage. Most gymnasts will tell you they have a favourite apparatus on which they do their best. The presence of several world champions will ensure that their best gives us an entertaining session. 5 finals, as I say, 3 for the men and 2 for the women. We're going to start with the men's floor exercise. Again, my co-commentators are Liz Chetkovich and Anne-Marie Kerry. So this is the field for the men's floor. Alexander Svetlikny is from the Ukraine, Gard Young from the United States, then the 2 French competitors, Florent Marie and Jan Kucherat. From China, Zheng Lihu, Damien Istria of Australia, from Belarus, Alexei Sinkovich, and the famous Japanese gymnast Naoya Sukahara. Although he missed out on the US team for last year's World Championships, high hopes are held for 22-year-old Gard Young. And why not? The family pedigree is there. His dad, Wayne, was a collegiate champion in 1975 and a member of the Olympic team in 1976. Gard has come through the Bart Conner Gymnastics Academy, but is currently at Brigham Young University under Makoto Sakamoto and has undertaken a major in broadcasting. His gymnastics potential became clear when he won the all-around at the National Under-18 Championships in Tennessee 4 years ago.
Ladies and gentlemen, on men's floor exercise, representing the United States of America, Gard Young.
Also représentant les États-Unis, Gard Young.
Gard Young, 22 years old, originally from Oklahoma.
Full front layout, 1.5 now. That's very, very well performed. There's flares with spindle. Up into the handstand. Back to flares, back up to handstand. So, and straight into vendor swing. So the number of bonus points he's picking up for that is quite considerable. Two and a half twist through to a prone support. And a good position on his planche. Showing a bit of variety in this floor routine. Whip, double twist.
Well,
Stuck the
that's
double twist.
a great routine from Gard Young. Only comes in as the 6th highest qualifier with a score of 9.0 from the all-around, but I think that's probably a better routine.
Yes, it's a very interesting routine. He's got a lot of backwards twisting. We're seeing some forwards twisting there, but actually quite a lot of backward twisting in his routine, which is unusual to see for a male gymnast. They're not using that skill selection so much, but he's used it very well. Whip, double twist.
Well, that's a great score for Gard Young, 9.537. He's breezed past Svetlikny, who had a 9.025.
Ladies and gentlemen, on men's floor exercise, representing China, Zheng Lihu.
Well, Zheng comes in as the equal highest qualifier with a 9.3. Perhaps he can issue the challenge to Guard Young.
Have to do an outstanding routine to get up to the 9.5s, as he needs to do to take the lead. Double. Well, that's a good start. Well, his landings will be crucial. That's where Guard Young really powered ahead. And you see the hop backwards there. Each time they hop, it's 1/10. 2, 3 circles. 3 circles equals D value.